Sipple. Crossover.
Oh, killer crossover.
Just crossover. It just crossed him over nastily.
Another victim to the crossovers. Cross him up and sit him down.
The crossover is powered by The crossover is powered by Everlevel Concrete Repair in Omaha at everlevelconcrete.com.
Yes, it is. This crossover is called Let's Find Gary's Phone. Let's go on a scavenger hunt.
I'm a little panicked right now because
Where could it have gone? Things are getting stolen all over the place.
I really hope it wasn't my fault.
Our dongles are gone.
You got to retrace your steps.
No,
Did you
didn't.
take it and put it in the bathroom?
I literally no. I checked my bag to see if I was a dunce enough to put it in. I didn't touch it.
You know, my daughter, she takes her little toys and she likes to stuff them inside the couch or behind the couch and stuff like that.
Okay.
I wonder if you did that with Gary's phone into the bathroom.
I didn't go to
my phone in the bathroom.
No, I did not take your phone to the bathroom.
I mean, I called Gary and I heard no vibrations in here. Not
my phone go.
Yeah.
Hey, do you want to search?
This could be.
No, that's my phone.
Yeah, can't you Apple users?
Yeah, those
find
people on
your
my phone are my father and my brother.
YouTube comments, please tell us suggestions of where we should look for Gary's phone.
Do you have the Find My iPhone thing on your computer?
Yeah.
Go ahead and grab your computer and pull up the Find My iPhone thing, and then hit the little ding ding ding, and then we can find out, where
Bing
you
bong.
put your phone.
What a world we live in where
I
you
know.
can do that.
It is great.
This is the reverse keys. This is Gary's lost something, and now I have to help him find it.
Well, apparently the dongles are gone. There's no dongles.
There's no dongles. We've run out of dongles. Don't ask anymore. Don't ask.
Nobody. Chris Prudhomme said he had some on his desk.
Chris Prudhomme has a lot of dongles.
Yes.
Dingle dongles.
Apparently. And Bigley says, look on the urinal, on top of the urinal.
Top left, he says.
Top left.
Why are you looking at me?
It would be so funny if it's.
Why are you looking at me?
I think you should go check the bathroom.
Why?
Well, check and see what your.
Why
I haven't left the studio all morning.
Why are you looking at me as if I grabbed your phone,
Because you're the only
went to the
person
bathroom?
that goes in the bathroom and takes stuff with
You don't think it's possible that you could have grabbed it?
I didn't go to the bathroom. I just went and said hi to Jimmy before he left for the weekend.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
and why would I grab Gary's phone?
I don't know. Why do you do anything?
To make money.
Well, that would not have been the reason why you grabbed Gary's phone, I don't think.
I don't know. Maybe I wanted to hold it ransom.
Sell it for parts.
Well, then
Well,
in that
if
case,
this finds out that it's in your possession, then there's going to be more than.
Yeah, that's right. You're gonna have to pay another fine for that.
Ooh.
Why did we just assume that I made the mistake?
Well, you are sort of like the wild card variable here.
That would be a hell of a misstep by our boy Matt here.
You don't think he subconsciously could have done this?
To
You don't
grab another person's phone.
You don't think he's capable, Josh?
Now I'm worried.
It seems very far-fetched.
Gary literally put all of his crap there, folded
Gary
it all
didn't
up.
move though. He said he had his phone 8 minutes ago, and he didn't move.
I didn't grab it. I did not grab his phone.
And when I came in, his phone's usually sitting right here, and it's usually the last thing to get moved, and it was not there.
Maybe you moved it.
That is theoretically possible, although I would say less possible than you subconsciously picking it up.
Maybe I should go and retrace my steps.
Maybe.
I didn't grab his phone though.
Maybe. Well, this is
I had my
a
phone
heck
in my
of a
pocket.
whodunit. This is like Knives Out. 1620 the zone. 1620 the zone. Where's Gary's phone?
Now, I do declare that Matt McMaster.
Hey, I watched the second
Who
one.
was the last person to leave the studio? The members of the jury. This man has lost his keys. This man has left Monster Energy drinks in the bathroom. This man has missed his own radio show for a whole hour.
Yeah.
Are we to believe that he couldn't possibly make a mistake such as grabbing Gary Sharp's phone?
That would be my case.
And putting it somewhere else?
It's over where you're sitting.
Where is it? How do you know that? How do you know it's?
I just looked at the location.
Well, I mean.
Can you not play the sound?
Huh? I'm playing the sound, but it's on my phone's on mute.
Oh my God!
Like a regular adult. Thank you, Gary.
If Matt has it, this would be very, very, very funny. Very funny. John writes in on the text line: is Matt going to pawn Gary's phone? That's what I asked him. He said, "Well, I said, why do you do anything?" He said, "Money." He's after the money.
Who-
Travis says,
whose phone is on the windowsill there?
check the back
That's
seat.
Okay. Yeah, you got to check the back seat.
I don't have your phone. I did not grab your phone.
My phone is still in the building.
Okay, that's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yoga people?
Oh,
No, it's not
me-
the
let me
One
look
Tree
out.
yoga people.
Where could it be?
But they do show up here as a possible location.
Well, this
All
is
right.
fascinating.
I didn't know that was a
right, let me
Omaha
leave this
OBGYN
Yeah.
place.
Yeah, right
Okay,
across.
now,
yeah.
I'm looking at locations around them.
So you don't think it's there, right?
I do not.
Okay.
It is in this. It is in this particular building.
okay.
All right, good. Which means it could be either here or Yoga Town.
Well, I can look out. I cannot believe that I there's no way I did anything.
There's no like secret drawer.
It's not in your pockets.
No, it's
Okay.
not.
I don't know why it would be. I don't think it would be for the record. Just let's eliminate all the options as fast as we can.
I'm gonna go look in the bathroom.
What a crossover. It could
Happy
New Year.
I'm really worried that I might have done something unconsciously stupid, like take his phone, but I didn't do that. I walked right by it.
No, I know you think you didn't do it, but I'm saying it is possible that you did it. I'm not
It's
blaming
incredible.
you.
I don't know how I could have done that.
I'm not sure either. I'm not sure how you do most things.
How did I would have to like black out.
Yeah. You grab stuff unconsciously all the time. I do that all the time.
People black out all the time.
100%. There you go. I called him before and there was no vibration in the room. I don't believe it's in the room.
Interesting.
I believe it's somewhere else. Somewhere.
Said he hadn't left the studio all morning.
Which is continuing to narrow down our options, Josh, which is why I think it is possible that it is Matt who did leave the studio in between the two shows.
But how did I grab his phone?
I'm not sure how. That's really not what matters right now. It's just if. It's just if. Tyler writes in on the text line.
Hi, Tyler.
Gary's phone calls from inside the building and you just hear heavy breathing. It's Spooktober, boys. Maybe it was Mr. Bones.
How can you
Mr.
not play this
Bones
out?
did it. What a Halloween heist.
Okay, he didn't find it outside, which is good news for you.
It is not in the bathroom.
Sigh of relief for Matt.
Let me go.
Sigh of relief for
I
Matt.
don't think I grabbed your phone. I don't think I did that. How did I do that?
Sam writes in on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed.
Hi, Sam.
Well, what are we looking for? Is Gary's phone some sort of 1997 Nokia flip phone deal? No, it's a real life iPhone.
It's an iPhone 14.
It's a real life iPhone.
14.
Okay, so now I have.
Did you hide it?
No, I did not.
Oh, okay.
I just had it laying right there.
That'd be really funny if this was a bit and you just made him think that he did
Oh
it.
no!
Oh no. What's he?
I did.
Okay, he didn't
Oh.
find
didn't find
it. I thought he found it. Yep, this is 1620 the heist. 1620 the heist. John writes in on the text line.
Hi, John.
Did the parking lot possum take the phone? It still does have a claw,
Oh, that's true. Okay.
although I don't think it has the ability to move, considering it has been stationary for roughly 4 to 6 months. So, you really never know. Josh says that you could ping it if you have an Apple Watch. He doesn't have an Apple Watch.
I do, but I'm not wearing.
He's not wearing his Apple Watch. It's not in my pockets. I don't know.
It's given me a location.
Okay.
All right, so one.
Okay. What?
I'm nervous.
I'm
really
You
nervous.
keep having that look on your face like you
No.
found it.
No, I did
Hey,
not.
hey,
I'm just really nervous.
Hey, when you find it, can you just tell us? Don't be like, oh well, I found it right here. Like
I don't know.
just-
I don't know.
right.
This is.
Hold on.
I got no idea what's going on.
It's outside of this studio.
Oh, okay.
I did not.
This
I
is
did
bringing
not-
Matt back into the equation. It's bringing Matt back into the equation.
So this Find My iPhone thing isn't very good, is it?
No, it is good if you have a watch.
Oh, if you have a watch, what does
I don't even.
what does the watch have to do with it?
You can make it make a noise,
Oh.
even if it's on silent.
Oh, okay.
I-
Okay.
but
He should be able to ping it from his computer.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I've never done that before.
Hmm.
Never done that before. John writes in a
Hi,
great
John.
question about the functionality of the morning show. How can someone Gary's age go 4 hours without peeing? I don't think he went the entire show.
No, he goes the entire show.
He does. He doesn't leave the studio for 4 hours.
The only time he leaves the studio at all is if maybe he's like making a phone call or he's like reaching, like he's something.
Oh,
like
dude,
that.
I gotta leave like once a segment, otherwise my legs get stiff.
Gary rarely leaves the studio. I'd say that on average he probably leaves the studio once a show.
Whoa.
And then after the show or after the crossover, he then does his business in the bathroom.
Okay.
That's his routine.
So I guess to answer your question, John, it's quite regular. I'm receiving a phone call from Gary Sharp.
Whoa!
Hello? What now? Gary's on the line. Gary, what do you have?
I've got my phone.
Where is it?
All right, here we go. We got a story. Whose fault was it? Whose possession was it in?
No, where'd you find it first?
Out by the mailboxes.
Okay.
But you didn't leave.
I didn't leave.
But
I did not go to the mail. I went to Jimmy's office.
It might have been just somebody by accident, just picked it up,
okay.
but it was pinging. That shows you that nobody's here today.
Yeah, right. You read that. Somebody would have grabbed it 5 minutes ago.
It's a Friday in October. Why would anyone be here?
Oh my god.
right.
Oh my god. That's
that
somebody's
is
calling
really-
us. We found the phone. Don't worry about it, callers.
Hey, but
I'm innocent.
but Find My iPhone is a great thing.
It really is.
Okay, you liked your results.
Well, yeah, because it said it was either right, like within my location right here, but it was in the building.
Hey, is it true that you don't pee the whole show?
You do all your peeing overnight, right?
Yeah, I get up like 3 times during the night to pee, so I get it all out of the system.
Like 6 to 10, you don't pee.
no,
No, never. He gets. I was telling him they were.
That has gotta be-
They were asking me how often do you leave the studio, and I told him I think Gary on average per show leaves once.
That's crazy.
And
I'm
I
gonna bug the people on Sweet 98, and that's
Yeah.
it.
would you say that like the only time I've ever seen Gary you leave the studio multiple times was there was like a game or there was some day where you had multiple calls coming in and you had to like leave the studio twice.
Because if I leave the studio and run into somebody, inevitably they're going to want to talk, like
So-
visit, like you know.
Okay.
So yeah,
No,
I'll, like, get back
you're
in.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That happened to you
No,
once.
I don't. I think I have something wrong
You probably know the people that
with the
work in the
pee?
building.
with the pee. So like at
Oh,
night,
gosh.
like I like I don't have to go pee during a game. You'll see tonight, but like at home, like I'm laying down, just chilling. I got to go pee all the time.
Yeah.
There's probably something wrong.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's something to that though. It's really that's a really great thing to have though, because man, as I've rapidly aged in the last 10 to 15 years, I can't make it through. I mean,
During a game, do you pee?
absolutely, I
Okay.
have to. I mean, I will miss a
Okay.
pitch. I'm Sean
Hmm.
McDonough
I don't.
the other day. Like I gotta go. Like
That's right,
and a
you
lot
did
of those
say-
Creighton broadcasts were
Yeah.
by myself,
Mhm.
and the bathroom is, a sprint down the hall.
I put in
I-
an extra spot or two.
I called Joe,
right?
or I called Joey. I said, Joey on the line. I go, Joey, you got to throw me an extra minute. Like we might miss a pitch or two, but I'm not going to do dead air. And so, yeah, halftime of the women's
Yeah.
basketball games, like sometimes they have me announcing stuff and I can't get up, and it's a miserable experience.
I don't
don't-
pee during.
I'm filled with
I don't go
pee.
during a game.
I don't go during a
Yeah.
game.
Filled with pee.
I don't know. I get it. Like I, shower, shave, and the other one, and so that kind of suits me for.
In the morning, though, I guess I could see it. Like by the time we hit the air on the midday show, we will have
See-
have drank a lot of things.
the thing though is that
I drink a lot before I get here.
this Monster Energy drink, I mean, it is a pee magnet. Like it for sure. Like I pee a lot in the morning because I'm drinking this thing.
Yeah.
And then you notice I leave the
Yeah.
studio probably like 3 or 4 times. But then
Just
when
hoping that he will leave it in the bathroom.
we have $100 bet. Did you heard
in the
about
next
this?
year.
Yeah, we have 12 months. I think we dated it September 27th.
Yeah, but you didn't leave your monster today. You left Gary's phone.
I did not grab his phone.
I
I
would
d-
I
I
would be
did-
so disgusted if this was left in the bathroom.
I did not.
I
By
would
someone that wasn't you.
I would take this to the #1 disinfecting unit in Omaha and have them take care of my phone.
What, you wouldn't still continue to drink out of the out of the thing that you
We've
left?
had this before. The particles are in the air. They got into the drink, and you drank it.
I'm going to tell you right now, I swear to goodness, I did not grab your phone and put it by the mailbox.
Somebody by accident. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, something happened.
But
I
I'm
mean,
gonna do. When I get home, I'm gonna swab it and see what fingerprints come up.
I just hope. Well,
Are you a clean freak?
CSI NRG.
one of the theories that's out there is that you that you put it in your pocket and that maybe we're trying to frame Matt. Is that possible?
That is not. I don't think it's possible because I texted from the phone at 9:50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did it get out there?
I don't know.
How did it get out?
I went straight to Jimmy and what's his name? The producer
That's
on the
okay.
afternoon
I've,
show.
Nick.
Nick. They're awesome.
I put in a request for the video.
Yeah, we need security cam.
Yeah.
We need a what's his name in the Knives Out?
Benoit Blanc.
We need Benoit Blanc. This is Knives Out 3.
Benoit Blanc. Well, they have a Knives Out 3 coming out. It actually is
Yeah,
like
this,
about the perfect crime.
You know, I
It's
saw
great.
That's
two.
going to be the Christmas movie you see this year.
I kind of
Oh,
liked
whoa.
it. I kind of like 2. I think I'll watch 3.
2 was okay. Edward
Yeah.
Norton was fine.
Yeah.
I believe the vibes are spookier for Knives Out.
Ah,
yeah.
well, that puts me off.
Mhm.
I don't care.
That's why I wanted to warn you on the front end.
Knives Out 1 was incredible.
Yeah.
Knives Out.
I'm so mad though. I saw the first Knives Out in theaters, and I thought it was a great experience. seeing
Great
it.
theater experience.
Yeah, and then they put the second one on Netflix, like a
Yeah.
bunch of doofuses.
yeah, I watched it on a plane.
Nice.
It was like on the Southwest free.
Yeah.
I actually think that's a great.
It was a great plane movie.
Yeah, I watched Top Gun.
on a plane.
Yeah, calms me down.
A movie about planes
Yeah,
doing high speeds and
Yeah.
dangerous things.
I'm like, if they're not dying,
Okay, all right, that's fair.
I'm not dying.
So would you watch Sully on a plane
No, God, no. But
or Snakes
you know,
on a plane?
no, wouldn't watch that.
What's
I've
the one
never
with
seen
Denzel?
Snakes.
I'm drunk now.
Snakes on a Plane is great.
That's Flight.
Flight. I love
Yeah,
that movie
that's,
so much.
God, that meme.
I watched that movie on a
That
plane.
was
By
a-
the
that
way.
was a
Have you?
depressing-
Yeah,
We're gonna roll it.
we're gonna roll.
We're
it.
gonna roll it. Pitch back the flaps.
October 11th, October 12th, October 13th, and October 14th. I drank.
I'm drunk now. God help me.
You have to kind of cover up the first few seconds of that movie
No.
when you're around other
You
people.
do.
Do you
It's
guys-
a
do you
little
guys see the
explicit.
the
October
s-
11th next week? We have to remind ourselves of this
Okay.
to do Denzel.
We'll have to do the show drunk.
Denzel. So Monday is the 13th, and then the 14th. We have to say
Mhm.
we have to do the Denzel line.
Okay.
We found two.
I drank in excess.
we found 2 vodka bottles in the trash. You found 2. Well, I drank 3.
It is my opinion
Have you guys seen
that Katerina Marquez did not drink the vodka because I drank the vodka.
Have you seen it's now turned into a sport meme where it's like me about to start Kyle Pitts this week, and then it's Denzel in that movie going, "God help me," and then it's like, what'd you say?
Dude, hey,
I said, "God help me."
I've been starting Kyle Pitts all year long because Kittle got hurt after week 1, so Kyle Pitts is my second guy.
It's not bad.
He's been okay.
He's been fine. I've been using Dalton Schultz.
Dalton Schultz.
That's his very sneaky 8-point Dalton. That's what I call him. This gets me 8 points a game.
P. Did he get sentenced? I left the room and we were watching this.
Oh yeah, now we're talking about Washington.
Where-
huh.
Well,
Okay,
they-
the GOP
now they were
leadership
like-
is about to speak about a shutdown, Gary.
Yeah, but we were watching to see the P. Diddy verdict, and all of a sudden he's off the screen.
Where's Fox News?
Yeah, they're all over this, I bet.
60?
CNBC? I don't think so. Man,
Judge said 2 minutes ago, judge says he doesn't see a reason to deviate from advisory sentencing range.
and what did they? There you go, breaking news.
70 to 87 months.
Oh no, they're gonna try
What?
to reopen the government.
Yeah, they
Oh,
should
you
do
say
that.
negatively.
Well, they see. Not that I bet on it, but you can.
Oh, is
bet
that
on
Senator
this.
John Thune?
In the background, yes.
You know-
you can. Yeah, you can bet on
Yeah.
when you think the government will
Oh.
reopen.
It was.
Oh,
plus,
is that a Bovada
it was,
thing?
It was plus 325. If it would,
They should vote
that
to
it would not
reopen
shut
NRG Media.
I really hope that they do this before.
Josh.
There's nobody here.
Yeah, Josh is triggered.
Isn't it so funny though that it was literally pinging for about 5 minutes
Not surprised.
and just nobody heard it.
Not surprised.
If a tree falls down and nobody's there, did it ever happen?
I think if I was a government worker, like
Something
there's
like
some
that.
people at Offutt that they're in between, they don't know what's going on. That you could go online and bet on when you think you'll get your job back.
Well, but like
Huh, my
they're
dad would've been
still
broke.
correct me if I'm wrong. I guess this is different for different people who are government employees, but like they're still expected to go to work, right? They just don't get paid. But they get
I think they determine if you're
Really?
essential or not.
they
Oh,
get
okay.
like back they get they
Like all
get
the people in the
back paid
parks department, like Jeffrey's fired until they get it
until
up and
further
running.
notice,
Yeah.
probably, yeah. But they get that, don't they get that money back? Like they don't just lose out on the. I don't know. I don't know how government
Good
works.
question.
I got
But they're talking about the TSA agents, because the airports can't run without TSA agents. There's a person out there.
There is.
So that means there's someone here.
Someone's here.
And what's that about?
Well, she has her own radio show
Yeah, but not till later.
though. Yeah, I don't know her schedule.
What is she doing?
I
though?
don't know. She's just looking at us through the window like a weirdo.
It is good to know that somebody else is here.
It is very peculiar.
Well, we're on in the lobby today, so
Oh, hello!
Oh, we got
Tommy!
upgraded!
Anyone who's listening to this should have heard Gary's
Well-
phone pinging for
Well,
10 minutes.
well, if we're being
Thank
honest,
you.
nobody's in the lobby anymore. So
yeah, that's true.
All right. I will
Okay.
see you tonight. I'm looking forward to it.
This
Let's
is going to
go.
be must-see TV.
I am very excited too.
Yeah. So I'll be.
Are you going to
curious.
introduce me as
the Central
Cent-
grad?
No,
As
I
a
played
Central worker, Connor Happer.
No, I played football for Central. I'm a Central football
I will
letter
introduce
winner.
You got a hand
as-
in the dirt.
I
Oh, you
will
were a
introduce
letter
you
winner?
as a former Central Eagle.
Former
football player.
Central football player. Thank you.
Yes, I
Yeah.
will.
Yeah.
How many water bottle tosses you have that year?
I was not the water boy, Matt. Thank you very much. I got involved any way I possibly could. I played probably 7 to 10 snaps in one game on senior night.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It was great. I almost got a sack.
That's all.
So close.
We counted. You leave.
It was me. I had Galen goalie right in front of me, and he somehow got away.
What used to be the Bryan boys basketball coach?
Uh-huh.
Really?
Yeah, he's a year younger than me, and he was their quarterback.
Okay.
And I was getting after. I was rushing the passer, and I had him out there. I was like, and then he just ran right by me.
My my football career ended when future Augustana running back Ty Gavin just absolutely put his foot in the ground and like nearly broke my shoulder with his. He
ran you over.
He ran me over and then also put his foot in the ground. Like I was falling and he didn't need to hit me, but I think he wanted to hit me, and he just hit me, and that was it.
I am excited for football tonight,
Yeah, we have a good game. We have the game of the year so far, and
I'm excited to see these new digs out at Burke.
you get to see Torrey Pittman up close.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you guys, everyone's gonna be listening to my game that I'm announcing tonight. So it's like I hope the overlay, the leftovers end up watching your
Right
game.
after it ends, after 8 minutes into the game,
Yeah.
then
Yeah, you got to tune into Matt's game first, and then
Yeah, I'll just do a spoiler alert. Tom Aletta Jensen and Millard South leads 7-0.
you think they'll pass it?
Yeah, they passed the ball a lot.
I think they could go whichever way they'd like.
Yeah, against anybody.
Who they playing tonight?
Papillion, La Vista, not South.
Go Monarchs. Go Monarchs. Central Prep. Watch
Big
out.
rivalry.
I know. I saw a graphic going around
Who
on
is-
Twitter is
Yes,
inappropriate.
but
Very.
okay. So is that Central's biggest rival, or is it North?
It would depend.
Or it used to be Burke.
It would depend on the era that
Okay.
you spoke to the person. My era would probably say Burke.
This sounds like Vikings
Um,
Packers is what this.
But
sounds
yeah,
like.
it's Central Prep, Central North are definitely still long-standing deals.
What is she doing?
She's still there.
yeah.
She gonna admit that she stole your phone, Gary, and put it out there?
Oh, maybe she is. Maybe that's what's happening.
But how did she get? She never walked into the studio.
I don't know.
maybe
Did you
she
give it to her?
saw it somewhere? And
I didn't do a thing. I did nothing.
Bernie says have to watch the game with the volume off with Central Homer Connor on the broadcast.
Yeah. It'd be like Eddie George doing the Ohio State Nebraska game.
It's just like that.
Just like
I
that.
am Eddie George.
You're Eddie George. You are Eddie George.
I'm the Eddie George of Central.
Is he
Don't
coaching?
ignore all their
he-
historically great
Is
running
Eddie George
backs.
is he coaching at Bowling Green?
I think
Yes.
he's the head coach somewhere. Yeah.
Yes.
I got their butts whooped by Cincinnati.
All right, boys.
All right. See you tonight.
See ya later on. That's the crossover powered by Everlevel Concrete Repair in Omaha, everlevelconcrete.com. It is Friday. We'll start things off next.
It's the Connor Happer Show. Are we sure we want to do this?
Could you, make an announcement that we're ready?
It's the Connor Happer Show on 1620, The Zone.
Welcome in. It's Friday here on the Connor Happer Show. You're on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Josh Hodson with you on a Friday. Can you believe it? We've arrived. Another football game on the horizon. You only get so many of these, Josh.
That's right.
You're
One
only
of them's tomorrow.
You only guaranteed 12. Or if you're Scott Frost and you like to get a game a year canceled by weather, 11. You could get 13, you could get 14, you could get 15, you could get 16.
Whoa.
In theory. I don't think Nebraska will play 16 football games this year, but I do think they'll play 12, and I also think they'll play 13. That's right, we're going bowling.
Wow, bold stance by you.
I like this. Since I'm doing a high school football game tonight, I like this conversation going on in the chat. Very topical. People representing their high school pride right now. Either saying good things about Central High School or bad things about Central High School.
Whoa.
We love high school rivalries, don't we, folks?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. At the time.
Who did you hate, Josh?
I hated Millard North.
Ooh, Burke and Millard North had a little something going on?
Because they were
very close to each other.
They were everything that Burke was, just a little bit better.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they knew it too. So it was like,
what year did you graduate? 05?
03. Thank you for thinking I'm younger than I am.
I didn't undershoot it by that much. 05. Yeah, Millard North they were kicking some ass during that period of time in which you were in high school.
Yeah.
I don't think Burke was doing very much.
No.
Sorry.
One year they went to state, one year they went 0-9.
Today on the show, we'll ask, is Taylor Swift a pervert?
Many are wondering.
My wife told me this morning that she wrote a song about a pee-pee. And I said, that gives me the heebie-jeebies. Don't ever say that again.
Guys, that song makes me reconsider my stance on whether or not this is real.
Fascinating, because I think it does the opposite for me.
Oh, you think it's performative? Like,
well,
yeah, I love him. Oh, yeah,
No, but if think about it.
Okay.
Think about it. She's a nice lady, right?
Very.
So if this wasn't a forever situation, but you do like him, aren't you kind of laying the seeds for he's great. He has a nice pee-pee. Even though I'm not with him, anymore. But you should date him. Isn't that kind of what that is?
Yeah.
So I think it's the opposite.
He's got forever cred now. He's
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
If he's 55 years old and at a bar, hey, Taylor Swift wrote a song about my penis.
If she's going to be with him forever, then why does she need everyone else to know that? Would you write a song about your husband's pee-pee?
Everybody? Good question. That's yours. You don't share that with the world.
Exactly. Why do you need everybody else?
Those are my Midwestern modest sensibilities.
Exactly.
So everybody get your phone out, listen to the new song Wood, W-O-O-D.
So weird.
And report back to us on what you think.
That's what the burners are all saying.
Yeah.
Wood. Stuff like that. Very odd. Very odd. Very eyebrow raising.
She said the W word.
W.
I didn't know you like to get wet.
Oh, God. Stop it.
I'm quoting Training Day now. We've moved on to something completely different.
All right. Today on the show, we'll have no Munson today.
No Munson?
No Munson.
He's too busy diving in on the Taylor Swift album?
No, he is on a plane. He's going on a plane to Buffalo.
Oh, he's going to the Bills game this weekend.
Yeah, I wonder if he's checked out Room 40, the wings place in Buffalo.
Oh, okay.
Room 40.
Did they invent buffalo wings?
Yeah, it's
right there.
Room 40, Josh.
Room 40.
Room for days.
Oh, okay. I get it now.
That's what Josh Allen said one time.
What's up, dog?
All right. Bryan Christopherson's gonna join us at 11:30.
Go Josh Allen.
Steve Sipple at 1. That's the lineup powered by the Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard. We want to hear from you all today on the show. 402-951-1620 on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. You can call or text that number. Tweet at Happer Show at Connor Happer on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed. Email Connor or Josh O at 1620thezone.com on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox. And we say good morning to the YouTube streamers today, where Shanny writes in.
Hi, Shanny.
After we found out North spray painted the senior parking lot after a football game, things escalated for the class of 2010.
Oh,
He's talking about the Central class of 2010.
those are the kind of stories I like.
People, this is back in the day when, people like
you could mix it up.
Right. Like public vandalism was like kind of cool, but only if it wasn't on a super large scale.
Right.
Like TPing, egging people's houses, wrapping cars in saran wrap, putting like a bunch of crap all over cars, really just destruction to cars and property, but not so much like destruction, more of like, we could probably get this out, but it will be annoying. It'll take some time to do so.
There was one senior class at Burke that essentially covered the parking lot in thumbtacks.
Whoa.
And the police came and went like, hey,
this is too
far. Too far, everybody.
Sipple's Lost Tea writes in.
Hi, Sipple's Lost Tea.
Taylor Swift may be a pervert, but she's nowhere close to the horn dog that Sabrina Carpenter is. I have seen this and I have heard about this.
And Sabrina and Taylor have a song together on the new album.
Yikes. Is she being influenced?
Who's influencing who, though?
Why is it? Isn't Taylor the good girl?
Yeah, Taylor Swift was pretty modest until this album.
Until Mr. Pee-Pee came around.
Talking about Coke. She talks about her pee-pee.
Whoa.
She said it's bigger than yours.
Dear Lord.
Yeah.
All right. People are now putting their horny rankings in the chat, and we're losing our credibility as the least horny show on 1620 The Zone rapidly. Right. Although we have a long way to go.
Oh yeah, we're fine.
Long way to go. Elsewhere today, a history lesson, and yes, you will hear from 1940s man today. I dove into
I'm 1940s man.
I know. That's why we're going to hear from you.
Okay.
So I dove into the first time that Nebraska and Michigan State ever met. It was in 1914. I couldn't find any newspaper recaps of this, but I did find a game-by-game recap of the 1914 season in the 1915 the University of Nebraska student yearbook.
Wow.
So
what great research by you.
1940s man will be telling you about the game between the Huskers and the then Aggies.
I didn't know that.
Michigan Agricultural College, MAC.
Okay.
In 1914. MACtion was a thing in 1914, Josh.
Oh, apparently.
It was just Michigan State University. And then we'll have a couple of through lines. I also watched more than I care to admit of the 1995 game between these two teams last night.
Nick Saban.
Yeah. You will never get... Well, you'll be able to find out if I tease this out there that long, but we'll tell you in an hour and a half. You will be, Josh, you personally will be surprised at who was broadcasting that game.
Oh, okay.
You'll be surprised at who was broadcasting that game. Some folks might remember, or you could probably look it up right now. But I was like, wow,
pure.
Interesting. Our keys to the game coming up at 12:30. Our picks for the weekend at about 1:20, and of course, Josh's hype speech. What's he got cooking for us today?
Might want to watch the movie 300.
There's a reference to the movie 300, Josh. Why? This is Sparta.
Maybe.
Isn't that from that?
That is from that movie.
I don't like Sparta movies.
You don't? Well, yeah, you don't like action movies.
I don't like fighting.
You really don't.
I don't like fighting. I've mostly narrowed it down to just fighting.
Okay.
Like it doesn't impress me,
That don't impress me much.
Exactly. Shania Twain. It does not impress me much. Actually, at all. So I was not interested in the movie 300.
Okay.
And but I'm looking forward to Josh quoting it coming up later on in the show. Topic threat is still in effect, by the way, for today.
He can break that glass.
I can and I will. I can and I will.
On a football Friday.
I'll do it.
Dare talk to you about.
I swear to God.
Hoops.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Not even hoops. Coaching hoops.
We have division series that are all lined up starting Saturday. Now, many of you won't be watching any of these games on Saturday, but I figured I'd tell you that they exist. So we could touch on those as we go on throughout the show today.
You can make some money.
How worried are we about big wind? And what will be new following the bye week for Nebraska football? Off and running here on a Friday. Very, very happy that you're with us today. Sam writes in on Twitter.
Hi, Sam.
Jumped back on and was very concerned that you guys were starting a movie club too. Sam is the number one hater of movie club.
300 could be our first movie.
He just so happens to be. No, we used to have a podcast where Josh told me to watch movies, and then I got mad at it.
And you were like, Predator? No, I'm busy.
I draw the line here. We could do a movie club, but we wouldn't do it on the show. We'd have to be extra, and we have to get paid for it. I'm not watching movies. Maybe that's my hardline stance. I'm not watching movies on my own accord anymore.
What if we did Connor's classics and they were just movies you can remember, like Tommy Boy, Dumb and Dumber?
I was like, I don't have to watch it. You watch it.
Yeah, I'll watch it so it's fresh in one of our heads.
Okay,
and then we just kind of run through it.
Okay, I'd be good with that.
Okay.
Probably not on the show though, and probably not in October.
Yeah, definitely not in football season.
Or as Blackcat says, we could just talk about School of Rock.
It was on the other night.
It was.
Would you rip beers with Joan Cusack?
Sorry, we're still on Fox News from the Diddy sentencing, which for the record, I don't care about, but some people do. Let's see if School of Rock is on today. Oh, Blue Streak's on.
Oh,
that's a good one.
I really liked that movie when I was in high school.
Oh, Shawshank's on.
Okay.
You want to watch Shawshank today, Josh?
Sure.
The other options for the cable channels are... That's pretty much it. It's mostly TV shows.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess we're watching Shawshank.
Shawshank or Bar Rescue.
I think they're about to tar the roof.
Okay.
All right. We'll be back. Start things off. We'll talk about the football game from last night. Ouch.
Yikes.
It was almost a really good night for John Bishop.
Mm-hmm.
Back after this on 1620 The Zone. An eventful night on Thursday Night Football last night.
First time in years.
Everybody around here was sitting on pins and needles, just waiting for Adrian Martinez to maybe go into the game, including Adrian Martinez. He was like, yes, it's finally time. I can go into an NFL game.
I'll do it, guys. I got this.
Mac Jones is hurt. His brace stabbed him in the knee or something like that. It's time for Adrian. And then they went to a commercial break, and then Mac Jones was back. Sad. But Adrian got a lot of TV time last night. He was hugging Mac Jones.
Good for him.
They kept saying Adrian Martinez, time and time again, even though they won the game with a gimpy Mac Jones. 26-23.
Could you imagine?
Went to overtime. Rams go down to try and take the lead in regulation before the ball gets punched out at the 1 yard line. And they get it back to tie it going into overtime. So here is every overtime game, every game in the NFL that goes into this point, there's always like a singular talking point. For the last one, it was, are ties like kissing your sister? We don't have to talk about ties this time around. Josh, what are you doing? Oh, good for Adrian. Good for Adrian.
Just a screenshot I took years ago that I rarely have any use for.
And he does it on Lupus Day, the week of Lupus Day.
Yeah.
Which is sort of amazing. But anyway, the play from last night was going for it on 4th down by 3 in overtime. When you have a field goal in your back pocket and you could have tied the game with a few minutes left and then made it basically a sudden death situation.
Ooh.
After that. What do you think, Josh? What do you think? By the way, did you watch it? Did I explain the situation well enough?
You explained the situation better than I knew, because I didn't watch.
So San Francisco goes down, they kick a field goal to start the overtime. Los Angeles gets the ball back, they go all the way down. I will tell you the exact yard line. This is basically situation alert. So let's do situation alert here. They go down and they're
at like the 10.
Correct. They get it to the 11.
You have to kick that.
Really? So here's
it's 4th and 1.
3:41 to go.
It's pretty aggressive, but okay. Go ahead.
I mean, you could have you. It's definitely a situation.
Mm-hmm.
You could decide whichever way you'd like it to be. So the field goal there ties the game, and then there's another possession, and the next team that scores wins. There's no guarantee that you make the field goal, obviously. A first down still leaves the possibility out there for a field goal, although it would be more disappointing at that point, but more likely it would turn into a Rams win at that point because they would end up scoring a touchdown after that. So here's what they did. They got up to the line of scrimmage. They were like, we're going. And then they did the, let's see if we can get them to jump off sides and do the hard count thing. Okay. So then they took a timeout. Then they came back out, ran a simple run play, and got stuffed. Shout out to Marcus Siegel, the Omaha North product, for coming up with the stop there. So I just wish, first of all, for the record, I'm fine with going for it. I respect it. I really do. Because
certainly the Rams weren't getting the ball back.
If he would have kicked it, if they would have kicked it, they would have been like, McVay, you're a wimp. Just taking the tie, playing for the tie, classic coaching, being conservative, all that stuff. So like, I'm cool with going for it. I really, really am. But I just have a problem with the way it was approached by the Rams. I wish that just one time, I always think this every time it happens. One time, a smart team would go up to the line, do the thing where you're trying to get them to jump off sides. You know, you got 16, 15, 14, 13 left in the play clock. They're not going anywhere. They're not budging. And you get down to 10, 9, 8. You step back, you look over at the sideline, you act like you're going to take a timeout, and then you go up to the line of scrimmage and then just go. 3 seconds left on the play clock, you run the play.
Okay.
Because I think it's more of a mental thing. For me, because I think when you do the hard count and it fails and they don't jump and it's 4th and 1 and you have to take a timeout then to regroup and reset and figure out what's going on after that, I think the defense in their mind thinks it's a win.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You're giving them like, hey, we did not jump. You've essentially created another data point for the defense to be confident in themselves. And then they can come back out of the timeout and, dig their heels in because you're going at that point. Obviously you're going at that point if you bring the offense back out after the timeout. So you're going. So I just wish one time that somebody would do that. I don't know why people don't. I thought McVay was going to last night. It looked like it was. They get up to the line. They're like, and then, just take a beat, take a look at the sideline, act like you're going to take a timeout, and then get back up under center and run the play, run a sneak, tush push, whatever it might be. Because I just think after that happens and you have to burn the timeout to reset everything, I just think the defense feels like they've won. And so it's really a mental thing. So I'm a little, and then they ran like a very simple, non-creative run play. So you have to credit San Francisco for getting up there and stopping it. But man, I didn't like necessarily how they approached it in that situation. Yeah, I am okay with the going for it, but it's just the approach was interesting to me.
If you're Sean McVay and you're the whiz, not a kid anymore, but if you're the whiz kid, maybe think up something a little better than halfback dive on.
Oh, are you throwing McVay shade? No. Which one's more of a whiz kid in this situation? Is it Shanahan or McVay?
You got whiz kid versus whiz kid. Wiz Khalifa should play at halftime.
There was a show at halftime last night.
Whoa.
I can't remember what it was. It was something ridiculous.
Okay.
It's LA. Maybe I was thinking of the Abu Dhabi games with Fat Joe yesterday.
Well, yes.
Yeah. Treggy writes in on the YouTube.
Hi, Treggy.
I would have jumped off sides with Connor's hard count. Thank you.
Give it to us again.
Which hut would you have jumped off sides on?
Probably the first one, let's be honest. I'd be so damn nervous. Why am I in the game?
Why did he hot? And then you're like, okay, fine. Timeout. Just kidding. And then you do it again. You're just trying to play mind games with them at that point. Andrew writes in.
Hi, Andrew.
He says the Rams had a field goal block and missed an extra point.
That's true.
Regulation.
I did hear the Kevin Kugler call of the missed extra point. So
I know. Yeah, there's no guarantees. No guarantees.
That's pretty short though. But I guess you had an extra point block. I'm just thinking out loud. I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's a situation. It's a situation alert. I love a situation alert. I think it's a fascinating situation to see how you sort of handle things. I'm perfectly fine with going for it in that situation. I am.
I think I've landed on I'm okay going for it. There's only about 3 minutes left. Rams probably weren't getting the ball back.
Probably not. You were either losing or tying.
Yeah.
So you have an opportunity to have it in your hands. And that's sort of the thought process. Yeah. Here's Triggered Bob.
Triggered Bob.
Okay, hold on. Where is this going? Does it bother you at all that the coaches have to deceive the players into playing better? What an interesting thought process. Shouldn't the motivation come from within? I'm tired of the depth chart circus and the performative games. Just play. You know what you're getting paid to do. I think Triggered Bob is probably talking about Husker stuff here.
That's what it sounds like.
But sort of an interesting way to look at it. Sometimes, yes. I'm like, dude, come on.
Yeah.
But that's what football is it's a big macho sport for big macho men who, need a little bit of an edge to them in order to do the things that they're doing really, really well. Like in other sports, that can work counterintuitively. Motivation can supply as a distraction or you could create a situation where you, like in golf is not about focus. Golf is not about motivation. It's about focus, right? I suppose you can be motivated to be focused, but like the more amped up you are in golf, if I drink 4 coffees before I go play golf, I'm going to be a little bit, jittery. That's not probably going to work in my favor, right? But in football, it might. Football, those guys are psychos. So I don't know.
When you've spent the first 18, 19, 20 years of your life with quite literally everyone around you wiping your ass and telling you you're special.
Hey. You be nice to golfers, Josh.
No, football players.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Big power four D1 football players. Like
They have been the best players at wherever they've been. That's for sure. So a couple people texted this, and Kenneth writes in on the YouTube, and then we got a text that says, have you guys ever seen the video of when Jameis was trying to make them jump? Yeah. Because he did the hard count, he did the thing a whole bunch, and then at the end of it, he was like, "Damn, you guys can you guys jump?" I love Jameis. Jameis is a hero.
I've really come around on him.
All right. So that's situation alert from last night. The Rams should be probably 5-0, if not for screwing up a couple things pretty royally.
Yeah.
They're instead 3-2.
I'll bet you John Bishop has takes on this.
John Bishop almost had a really, really good day yesterday.
Oh, yeah. Would have been a banner day for him.
Yeah. And then just turned bad at the end. Can't lose to the Frisco Niners and say it's a good day. Fortunately for John, he gets to watch his Cubs play their arch rivals this weekend, the Milwaukee Brewers.
His Cubbies.
My Cubbies. All right. Let's take a break. We'll be back. Thank you guys for joining us on the show today. Plenty to come, including Josh's breakdown of all the songs on the Taylor Swift album.
I got takes.
Back after this on 1620 The Zone. But yeah, it's a good idea, Josh. We should probably mention our friends from Underdog Fantasy. Just mentioned that football weekend that we have coming up. There's no better time to get in the action than right now. It is the best place to do so. You can make picks and win money right now. Here in our fine state of Nebraska, or even if you're doing a radio show from 50th and Dodge, you have the ability to do that. It's easy. Just pick whether your favorite players would go higher or lower on stats like rushing yards, receptions, touchdowns, and more. Get your picks right. You can win up to 5,000 times your cash. There's even some college props out there as well, which are absolutely fantastic for your college football Saturday. So get in right now. Download the app today. We got a special deal for you. Sign up with promo code HAPPER1620 and score $100 in bonus bets when you play your first 5. That's promo code HAPPER1620. Underdog, make picks, win money. Must be 19 or over, present in Nebraska. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concern with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
All right, plenty coming up this weekend surrounding Nebraska and Michigan State, including 1620 the pregame. Live from Blur Tailgate, 12:30 to 2:30 with John and Michael. That'll be available for you to listen to with your own ears at the Blur Tailgate, of course, so we invite you down there. Also with your own ears in a radio format or a digital format as well. 1620 The Zone and 1019 The Keg, and streaming, of course, everywhere that we stream our regular old shows. And, of course, Big Red Overreaction. Coming up after the game, myself and young Matt McMaster. That is also on 1620 The Zone and 1019 The Keg. Looking at probably about 6:30 for a start time with that. Brought to you by Equitable Bank, No Name Nutrition, Jason at Contracting, Dingman's Collision Center and Mechanical Repair, Prairie Flower Casino, and Peerless Energy Systems. But the fun does not stop there. Severe reaction for the Michigan State game is coming up on Sunday morning with Michael Severe. Not on 1620 The Zone and 1019 The Keg, but just 1620 The Zone. Hosted by Michael and brought to you by Equitable Bank and Nebraska Medicine. Are we clear?
I think so.
How's that sound? Is there anything that I missed?
Sounds busy.
Well, it's just, all of our programming surrounding the football game. So I don't think I missed anything.
I don't think you
about
did
our
either.
program surrounding the football game. Many hosts talking about many, many things, both before and after the game. So the thing that I'm most curious about this week for Nebraska football, and once again, we'll have our history lesson and our keys and our P's later on as we go on throughout the show today. Bryan Christopherson will join us here in about 20, 25 minutes. So what will be new? I am most curious to see, obviously, how Nebraska plays and, the win or loss part of it. That's the football game. But mostly, I'm excited to see what they thought about themselves, as I've been talking about for this entire week. I think they had some time to get a little bit introspective and say, okay, let's, shoot me straight here. What are we? Are we able to do this? Are we able to run the football better? Are we able to rush the passer better? Are we able to defend better in the run game? Or are these things going to have to be things that we coach around throughout the entire season, scheme around the entire season? I've mentioned before, I think we probably we magnify our issues around here because Nebraska football is the only thing we care about. And we sometimes act like other teams don't have issues. Or maybe when Nebraska plays other teams, we magnify their strengths, right? We say, oh my God, they're really good at this. And their quarterback is going to kill us because he does this. This wide receiver is going to kill us because he did this.
I think Sorsby's going to be the first person to ever win 2 Heismans in 1 year. He's that good, guys.
Well, that's only happened post Sorsby. That one's been odd, because that's after Nebraska played well against Brendan Sorsby in Kansas City. But you're right, stuff along those lines. So I do think we have to sort of acknowledge a couple things going into this stretch of the season. I think that Nebraska is the kind of team that will really have to be coached. And here's what I mean by that. I think they'll have to scheme their way to some stuff to make up for some weaknesses. If I had to guess, like I said, I do wonder how they piece that puzzle together after the bye week, right? What did they think was only because of Michigan? What did they think they could get better at? What do they know? Like, hey, I know that we're not going to be very good here. I'm talking about that stuff. Because I think there's some truths that we've learned about Nebraska football so far this season. So I think they'll have to scheme their way up on some stuff to make up for some of the weaknesses. And that's the same for every other team that lives in Nebraska's neighborhood in the Big Ten Conference. And so I don't mind being in that spot, but remember what this team, quote unquote, is. What are they? I think is going to, and this is a good thing for people who like to overreact.
Big red overreaction
Because
Saturday after the game.
I think there's going to be like a different takeaway every week. You know, hopefully there's not too many through lines of like, oh yeah, this is just bad and you have to deal with it, because I just think there's going to be a different thing that pops out. What this team is might change on a week-to-week basis. Some of the matchups could get dicey. I think for Nebraska against Michigan, there were some spots where Nebraska just lost key matchups. I think Michigan's strength is being able to have those guys on the edge and rushing the passer rather, against Nebraska's tackles, who got eaten alive during that game. Maybe that's just a weakness that Nebraska is going to have to deal with. So compare that to this week for Michigan State. Michigan State has had a problem rushing the passer all year. We talked to Chris Solari about it yesterday. It's one of the things that they haven't been able to do. In fact, it's been a weak defense generally all around. So I think there's some stuff we'll talk about in the keys later where there's kind of like weakness on weakness. And, Nebraska might be able to win some of their weaknesses. So I think one of the things that you might hear coming out of this week is like, well, maybe I don't have so much of a problem with their tackles anymore. And you'll have to ask yourself, I think you should ask yourself, why is that? Is it because I thought the tackles got a lot better, or is it because of what the opponents gave us?
Oh, interesting.
Right? So I think that is a very likely scenario coming out of this week. I also think Nebraska, one of their other weaknesses is the ability to stop the run and stop big plays in the run game. Michigan State's also had a problem generating that so far this year. So what will be the truth if that holds up during this game? Will it be Nebraska just dramatically improved their run defense and I'm not so worried about it anymore? Or was it something that Michigan State wasn't necessarily giving you during this game? Michigan State, so I'll pull up the stat now. They are explosive rush plays in the 66th percentile. So not bad.
But not good.
Not good. Certainly not good at this point. They go at a relatively slow tempo. I just, what I'm basically making a mountain out of a molehill of is that Michigan State is not as good as Michigan. Right?
That's what you're trying to say.
That's simplified what I'm trying to say. Michigan State is not as good as Michigan. And so how will that impact your view of Nebraska coming out of the week? There are still some truths that Nebraska is going to have to deal with. But once again, keep in mind, you play the opponent that's in front of you. And I just think there's going to be a lot of that this year. I just think there's going to be a lot of like, hey, this opponent does this well. Nebraska's got to really focus in and hone in on this while at the same time trying to sort of hide their weaknesses as well and accentuate their strengths. But I'm curious to see what Nebraska thought about themselves coming out of the bye. I really am. That's the biggest thing I'm curious about this week. Anybody else? Any other thoughts?
I think you're onto something. I think and then in the post game they'll say, well,
it wasn't as bad as you thought it was it?
We didn't have to break out we had a whole bunch of new stuff. We didn't see it necessary to break out most of it today. So we got it though. It's coming. What
do you mean?
That they don't actually have any new wrinkles. They just
you mean from the conversation from what Rule was talking about this week?
Yeah, sorry.
Oh no,
we got new stuff. We got new stuff that we didn't need to break it out against Michigan State. We were doing fine.
I do think you'll see a streamlining of the situation at tackle. I do. I don't mostly because I think the thing they were doing at tackle to start the year was stupid.
Interesting.
I've always said that. Dana Holgerson said after the first game, he's like, or maybe it was before the first game. He was like, yeah, I've never really been in a situation where we just tried to rotate a bunch of tackles. They did that, remember, in the first game with those three guys, Pritchett and Corcoran and Gatula. I just think I think not necessarily that those players will be new this week, as in players that we haven't seen before, but just that they'll settle on a thing. That would be my guess. So I think that's what they mean by new there. I don't know what they mean by new in the running game, but I do have a guess. And
Tiffy time.
No.
Nah.
Unfortunately for you Tiefers out there, I do not believe that it will be Tiffy time this weekend. Sadly. I think they'll probably try and get some they need to be a little bit more creative in the way that they run the ball.
Okay.
And so as much as we make this about an offensive line blocking thing and a running back running thing, it definitely is about those things. I just think if you know that it's not, it's not as good or as explosive as you want it to be in those particular places, then you have to scheme some things up. And now I think Dana knows that, And so what I think they'll do is, get some jet sweeps going, get some motion going, get some misdirection going, and little window dressing in there, right? Moving guys around, shifting from side to side. Like I said, look over here, but here comes the play.
Mhm.
That kind of thing. I think Nebraska needs that. I don't think they're the kind of team who could just say, "Here you go. I'm gonna,
run it right at
I'm gonna
you."
run stretch.
Yep.
I'm gonna run power or anything like that." Like, no, I don't think they're that kind of team. I think they need to do, I think they need to make them look one way and run the other way, that kind of thing. So I wouldn't be surprised if they set up a whole bunch of jet sweeps or a bunch of jet motion on Saturday. Especially because Michigan State's linebackers have not necessarily run well this year. They got a guy who's potentially injured as well. So get guys going across the line of scrimmage and see if those linebackers can get after him. And then, either you're setting up a big Barney play in that, or you're starting with that and then running off of it. Right. But I just think they probably could use a little bit more creativity in the run game. And I think they'll get that coming up this weekend. Want to hear from you all? 402-951-1620 on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. Of course, you can call or text that number. John emails in on the Equitable Bank inbox.
Oh, hi, John.
Connor at 1620thezone.com. If the tackles are again on skate Saturday, will you finally admit, like you were forced to with Sims, that they are really bad? John, I don't want to I don't want to undersell it here. I don't think Nebraska's tackles are very good.
Not good on record.
No,
Connor Happer.
I don't think they're very good. I just think there's things that they could do to hide them a little bit more. And one of those things is not in their control. It's who they play on a week-to-week basis. So, yeah, I think you'll see them get a little bit better this week, or maybe I think ideally you won't notice them as much, because I think Nebraska's interior of their line has been playing really, really well this year. I haven't noticed them much. Lutovsky, Evans, and Rocco are doing fine. We don't talk about them. That's good. I think that will be the case a little bit more on Saturday. If they get killed again, then yeah, maybe they're worse than I thought they were. I still don't think they're very good. I just think there's I just think, there's different levels of competition that they could play and some things that they could do to take a little pressure off of their shoulders. Straight dropbacks and stuff like that. Like we're talking about third down and 8+. What are you doing? You're out of the shotgun, and you're dropping straight back, and you're throwing the football. Guess what? Everyone in the world knows it, including Barham from Michigan. And he's pinning his ears back and he's getting after you. So here's another thing that you could do. I don't know, get 6 yards on first down. Something like that. That way you're not in 3rd and 8.
Yeah, try that.
So I think there has been an overreaction to the tackles this week. But I still don't. I can't sit here and tell you that they're a strength of the team or anything like that. I'm not gonna I'm not going to tell you that, but I do think that there has been a bit of an overreaction. From the YouTube, Brian says Lutovsky's PFF grades are horrible. You guys are so PFF build. I am not discounting PFF. I didn't mean that for to be my first reaction, but like, geez, like you go with what you see. You've been watching Lutovsky getting beat all year. I haven't. Have you?
I've been watching the quarterback and the running back.
Right, but like you could tell when guys get through the line, where are they getting?
Yeah.
Where are they coming from?
Yeah. Not that position.
That's not what I see exactly.
That's not the huge gaping hole that I see.
And I believe in the run game, it's obviously an everybody thing, and it's a scheme thing too. But I believe that Nebraska's running back could give them more, and is going to have to. It's part of the reason why you hear so much of this conversation about them needing a second running back, because if he's not at his best, then if Emmett, the number one guy, is not at his best, then they're going to have some real problems. They need him to be as good as he possibly can be, because I don't know how good he is anyway. And if he's not at his best, then Nebraska, once again, not good enough up front to be able to, not have a good running back. If you have an average running back and an average offensive line, you're going to get an average run game. If you have a below average running back and an average offensive line, you're probably going to have a below average run game. If you have below average of both, then I think you know where this is going. Right? But if you have an above average one of those, then that could really make up for the other one's weakness.
It's an unreasonable ask to go, "Hey Emmett, could you luck into hitting a home run on one of these?"
Right. You said it's not a lot to ask, or it is a lot.
It is a lot to ask. It's unreasonable to ask that of him.
I think so too. We haven't seen it, except for against Akron and Houston Christian, which don't count.
No more of those left on the schedule.
No. Hokey Skur writes in.
Hi, Hokey Skur.
Happer, are you the guy who glitter bombs their beard for Christmas and calls it festive? If so, what color, red or green?
Oh, not a chance you're in on that.
Yeah, absolutely not. I don't know why that question just happened.
Hokey Skur loves assuming things about you.
Really? What else is Hokey Skur assuming?
He assumed you had a butt chin that one time.
Oh, yeah, he did say that. He likes to comment on how I look.
Interesting.
What's up, Hokey Skur? Just me, baby. No, there's no glitter in my beard. There's never been any glitter in my beard.
Is your wife into glittery things?
If she was, it wouldn't matter.
Okay.
I'm not glittering anything.
I didn't know if hey, the kid is 6 years old and it's Christmas and.
Well, I like to do things for bits.
Daddy, will you put glitter in your beard?
I would probably do anything to say yes to my daughter. Okay. But I don't know. That hasn't happened yet. She has not asked me to glitter my beard yet.
Sure. Not yet. Could
Maybe.
be coming.
Maybe she will one day.
Mm-hmm.
Sam writes in on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed.
Hi, Sam.
Some Cowboys fans don't love it when you say, yeah, but that offensive line about Emmitt Smith. Right. When you have a good offensive line and a good running back, I'd love to be having that discussion. I think this is what Sam is saying. I'd love to be having that discussion of whose fault is it that they're good?
Yes.
Right. But unfortunately, we are not in that position.
That debate would be a godsend right now.
We are not in that position at the moment. Baseball coming up this weekend. We have division series that are on the line. All of them are, all the wildcard series are wrapped up. 3 of them in 3 games, 1 of them in 2. We'll start on Saturday. Unfortunately, this all happens during, college football is going on. There's games on Sunday as well, but then there will be games on Monday. I like this time of year in October where people watch playoff baseball during the week, and then they forget it exists on the weekends until the World Series. Cubs in Milwaukee, 1:00 on Saturday. Toronto hosting the Yankees, the Dodgers in Philly, and the Detroit Tigers and the Seattle Mariners. I happened to see a Seattle Mariners hype video last night that I quite enjoyed.
Whoa.
Yes. Stibbs, of course, retweeted it onto my timeline, but it kind of did get me fired up.
Go Goms.
I think so. I definitely prefer them to Detroit in this situation. Maybe we'll play it one series at a time. And I certainly prefer them over the Yankees. I can't tell yet whether I prefer them over Toronto. We'll see what happens with them. Do you have a World Series prediction, Josh?
I said at the beginning of the postseason, Mariners over the Phillies.
Mariners over the Phillies. And those teams are, fortunately enough for Josh, still alive. All right, we'll take a quick timeout. Bryan Christopherson is going to join us on the other side. Plenty to get to with BC coming up this weekend. By the way, BC and I have talked about this game a little bit on the Hypecast.
Yeah, I heard it was a shorter Hypecast.
It was.
Week.
That was on me. I had to we were taping it at 4, and then we didn't get started until like 4:05, and then I didn't tell, Schaefer until we were about to go, hey, I got to be out by 4:30.
Connor.
I had to be out by 4:30.
But you got to tell him earlier so he knows.
Yeah, but I still think we probably would have started until 4:05. Okay. So yeah, I'll take the blame for that one. So if you like a short Hypecast, then it's up for you right now on the 24/7 feed. Also, by the way, I'm hosting the Cornhusker Kickoff again this weekend.
This is a classic Connor Happer hates his family weekend.
No, it's not. I'm not working on Sunday.
You're going to be watching Red Zone in your basement.
Yeah,
by
but
yourself.
my family will be there.
Okay.
My family will be there.
Then
I've been gone a lot more
on
a weekend,
Good.
Josh. This is actually a very rare. Connor Happer loves his family on Sundays weekend.
Whoa. Okay.
I always have something to do on Sundays. This weekend I don't. So the Cornhusker Kickoff, and then that led me down the road of finding out who the band Fillmore is.
Fillmore at the Cornhusker Kickoff this weekend.
That's right. Also, Coach Terry Braden will be stopping by and hyping the people up.
TB
is what they're calling, I'm sure. Yes. So we'll see you there for the Cornhusker Kickoff. And then I will book it back to Omaha to watch the game and host Big Red Overreaction with my friend Matt.
What time? How soon before kickoff does the Cornhusker Kickoff end?
A half hour.
Okay, so you'll be getting some.
I'll be having some
Kyle and Damon.
Kyle and Damon time. Hopefully, some touchdown math.
Some touchdown math.
I need some of the touchdown math in my life. What do we think the first touchdown math is going to be on Saturday?
Oh, great question.
15 plus 6.
6. I like those odds.
15 plus 6.
I would. I don't know. Maybe
15 plus 6 to
in a van in Kansas.
Okay.
Bet on that to happen.
15 minus 6.
Oh,
no, I don't think we go minus. So 15 plus 6. That gets us to 21. What can we do with 21? Emmett Johnson is number 21. 2 plus 1 equals 3. We're getting close. We're getting close to something.
We're on to something.
That's
I don't know what, but
can't wait for touchdown math coming up on Saturday. All right, we'll be back with BC coming up after this on 1620 The Zone.
Hey, Brian.
Bryan Christopherson,
I gotta take this. It's Hap.
B. Rooney drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry.
Bryan Christopherson, Husker 24/7 on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
All right, time for our Friday chat with Bryan Christopherson from Husker 247. He joins us now on the Prairie Fire Casino Zone Hotline. BC, hello. Happy Friday. How are you?
Happy Friday, Happer. How you doing? It's been a long time since we talked.
I know. It's been many, many days at this point. Speaking of that, I got a tweet here from Curtis who says, yes, short hypecast, but Bryan had a lengthy, oddly specific prediction that is worth discussing again, and that included the gif of John Elway being twisted around as he flew helicoptered into the end zone.
Yeah. I said Raiola was going to have a run kind of like that on a red zone touchdown. And that's my childhood friend, Kurt. So shout out to him for standing by his boy from back in the day and
Let's
all the
go.
sleepovers and all that stuff. So that's just that's a friend being a friend there.
Yeah, it was a good one. It came out of nowhere. I also like people could listen to the Hypecast, but Brunson's was pretty solid as well. After you guys gave your oddly specific predictions, I found myself disappointed. I was like, wow, I really didn't get specific enough with mine, which is a mistake on my part.
No, you did pretty well. You were a little limited this week because you didn't have Gus Johnson available to you as like to include within the I guess he could have if he got really creative, some way wound him into whatever game they're covering and worked it in. But that wasn't on the table. So I thought that kind of you were hamstrung a little by that.
I could have done a Timmy B prediction. I could have said that he was going to say something super complimentary of Matt Rule, which I kind of regret not saying, but I am saying it right now. So maybe that
there
counts.
There you go. Well, we'll see what we do. I think I've gotten one oddly specific prediction right in my entire life. So that's my track record.
All right, BC, let's get to this one then. What do you find yourself? Because I was just explaining how I feel like all these games now are kind of going to be about the individual matchups that happen inside of them, given that you're dealing with teams that are in the same ballpark as you in general from a talent perspective. So the matchups are going to be really, really significant. I wonder when you sort of look at these two teams matched up against each other, what you feel like the biggest deal might be when you match them up.
Yeah, I thought you made an interesting point. The way you described it, I was listening the last half hour, and you said in the perceived like week-on-week matchups, there's some of that in this game. Like Nebraska's tackles are sort of under fire after the Michigan game, but then you look at Michigan State's numbers, and they only have 6 sacks, same as Nebraska's defense, by the way. They both have 6 sacks, which ranks 112th nationally at this point. So that's the area I look at and think like, even if Nebraska sort of stayed the same, they might look better on the edges this game against who they're playing than a couple of weeks ago. And so obviously there could be a change up there. That's going to be a big storyline early to see who they trot out first at left and right tackle. But Michigan State, I think, is vulnerable a little bit up front. And then you look at on the back end, they have not defended the pass that well. I mean, they're last in the conference in it, 115th nationally, giving up quite a bit there. So, you would think if they can just give Dylan a little bit more time, and it's not just on the O-line. The receivers got to get open a little quicker. That was part of it a couple of weeks ago, too. That's not just the line coaches are saying. It does go to all 11 people. Dylan's got to get it out a little quicker. But if they can do that, I expect there's going to be some holes in that second and third level of Michigan State's defense. I do wonder if it's going to be a shorter to mid-level passing game. That's usually how it's been for Nebraska, but especially on a day where you're expecting like 30-mile-an-hour winds. It's going to be, I think, important to get that ball out quick, and then guys are going to have to make some defenders miss in space, I think, a little more than they have at times.
Do you read into, because Bill Connolly had this week on ESPN, some of the stats for Raiola about the average time he goes snap to throw 2.89 seconds, which is toward the bottom of the country. The air yards, which is toward the bottom of the country, and the sack to pressure ratio is toward the bottom of the country. Like, are some of those things like a product of just how Nebraska has sort of decided to play so far this year, or is there a truth there about Raiola and sort of what he needs to improve on?
It might be a mixture of both. Like I do think somewhat is the product of Nebraska's style play, but also it's like it is receivers needing to get open a little bit quicker. I think on certain cases there were probably a couple from the Michigan game where it wasn't maybe directly Raiola, but you could place some of the blame perhaps on him. I like the fact that afterward he took it all on himself. He always does that. He kind of takes the attention away from the other guys and says, I got to get it out quicker. And I do know that that's the constant message from Dana Holgorsen is just put that ball in play, get it out quick when it's there and let those guys do their thing. That's been something he's been preaching to them since he arrived at the end of last year. So it's a work in progress, I'm sure. And I don't just throw those numbers that Bill Connolly has in the trash. I think he does good work, and you got to look at that stuff. And like some of it's O-line, some of it's receivers, some of it is the QB's got to get it out just a half second earlier or throw it away on a few of those cases. So ideally, though, this is a game where that O-line gives him just a little bit more time.
Yeah.
He's able to get it off. So that's good. It'll be interesting to watch. And then, you add in the wind. I don't want to make too big a deal about that, but it is an element of this game that I think is going to factor in.
I agree. And I also agree with you on trying, excuse me, not trying to make too much out of it, just because it's like this variable that we can't know how much impact it's going to have until we actually get there. So it's sort of a weird thing to talk about. But with that being said, I mean, everybody around there would agree that Nebraska needs to improve in the run game. And whoever that falls upon is who it falls upon. So we were just talking about whose fault is it here and who needs to get better there. Offensive line versus running back versus scheme. What do you feel like Nebraska, has found out or told itself about itself going into this week in the run game?
I'm sure they're going to have a wrinkle or two, but I also think it was interesting if you listen to Dana Holgorsen on the radio this week. He talked about that trick as coaches when you're game planning, like you can actually put too much in sometimes and it hurts you. Like you're going against all these different types of defenses, and then you play Michigan and it's sort of a different animal. Like so you start to like maybe overload a little bit more than you normally would with some information. And he mentioned specifically, like maybe they had a little bit too much in the run game, like planned, like packed in. And that can kind of affect everything. Sometimes if guys are just, first off, you're kind of on your heels catching your blocks because of their pass rush. And then maybe there's a little bit too much data being processed in like with the run game throughout the planning of the week. And so in a way, to your question, I wonder if it's pretty simplified on like, these are I always feel like Dana kind of goes back to that like simplification model, like over the bye week, like what are we really good at? And let's just get better at it. And what is just not working, and let's throw it away. And there might be a few things they just threw out and a couple things that they're not great at yet, but he sees the potential. Like if we hammer these home a little bit more, these can be staples for us. And so in a way, long answer, I think some simplification could be what you see in a way.
Defensively, BC, there's been a lot of focus this week on Childs, Michigan State. I think their two wide receivers are pretty dang good players. I guess, when you look at Nebraska statistically, it looks like a tough pass defense. They're number one in the country and all that stuff. I guess I wonder how that sort of looks this week, especially considering you don't want Childs to extend plays and things like that either. What do you think the focus is defensively this week?
Yeah, I I think this is a tougher test for him. I mean, obviously Sorsby was a good test that we have learned. He's thrown the ball at a high level, and they held him to under 70 yards. But Childs is completing 68.6% of his passes. I'm looking at the numbers. That's why I have it specifically. And the Omari Kelly kid is the one you really got to watch. Marsh is good too, but Kelly's got 300 plus yards receiving. He's a very good returner. And so I think the key, Connor, is like you can't really rest on your laurels. Like I'm sure they know the stat, like, hey, I haven't given up a passing play of more than 20 yards through 4 games, which is incredible to not have like one explosive like on your stat sheet. But like you can't get caught up in that like being a big storyline or like because it'll probably happen Saturday. Michigan State will probably hit a 23-yarder, and it can't be like this thing where it's like, oh, there goes that, like the shutout's gone, So I think you just got to attack this game like who's that receiver in front of you? What does he do really well? And just focus on taking him out and not get too excited about what you've done the last 4 weeks. And then have an eye on Childs. Like you've got to have somebody spying the idea that they're going to want to, I'm sure, spread the field at times, sort of like Michigan did with Underwood, and see if you have a better answer if they just run the quarterback on you then. And so they're going to keep getting tested on that until they prove they can stop it. And the biggest thing I'm actually looking for on the defense in this game is the linebackers.
Yep.
Like those guys, they got to be on point. Like I know whenever we talk about the run defense, it's always first the D line that gets mentioned, and they do have to get off blocks better. But just as much, these explosives have been about missed run fits or a bad angle. And I think those guys in the second level really have to be dialed in. They have to tackle well, and this cannot be a deal where you allow 2 plays that could have been stamped out for 4 yards become the ones we're talking about all of next week because someone was 2 feet out of place or just took a bad angle to it. And they got to get more hats to the ball. It just hasn't quite been like that. That 23 defense, it's weird. They weren't always great in every statistic, but they just got a lot of guys to the ball, and it hasn't quite felt the same since then. So I'd love to see a little bit more of that.
Okay, BC, I know we mentioned that we're not going to, overanalyze the win too much, but I thought Bruntz broke it down pretty well with the punter matchup. It's this could be theoretically a big day for some funky punts, and Nebraska has a funky punter in Archie Wilson. Maybe if there's a sneaky pick here, it's Nebraska making a play or two on special teams. Is this the week that it finally breaks?
It's very possible. Their punter is exceptional. Eckley, he's been good for like 3 years. He's averaging 53 per kick now. He's very good at pinning teams too, just like Archie's been. So the key to me is both teams have dynamic returners. Like Omari Kelce back there for them, Barney for Nebraska. And they both made like 1 or 2 mistakes too, which you kind of expect when you've got aggressive guys and you have that mindset. Like I think Kelly fumbled one, and obviously Ja'Cory had the one where I do think he was told like we want a big return out of this, and he kind of lost track of it and fielded at the 2-yard line.
Yep.
But it's stuff like that like someone is going to get overly aggressive and it's going to cost them, or that aggression is going to lead to finally the big house call that's going to decide this. I like that Nebraska is telling Barney though, like, let's have that mindset. Like we're going for it, pedal down like that. I mean, I feel like that's sort of got to be the emphasis over there. And it has been since Mike Eckler arrived. So I like that after that happened, the coaches and that Rule was kind of quick to say, you know what, that's what we want though. We want that sort of mindset. Obviously you don't want to field it at the 3-yard line every time, but in general, that's what they need to bring to this game. And whoever gets the edge there, that could be the difference. That's a pretty good matchup.
No doubt. Bryan Christopherson from Husker 247. BC, we'll let you go. Appreciate it as always, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right, sounds good.
Bryan Christopherson. Check out his work there. He's got his predictions. Check out the Hikecast, and you can find it all on the podcast feed from Husker 247. They're doing podcasts every day now. Husker 247
Every
daily.
day.
You bet. You bet. And I like a nice short podcast too. Who couldn't use just 15 minutes a day of BC or Schaefer Brunts just talking about whatever the topic of the day is? I love it. Topics, Josh.
We do love topics.
Black Cat says,
Hi, Black Cat.
great weather to send a kickoff out of bounds. So this is going to be a game.
Got to stop doing that.
Where, by the way, I have loved a sneaky deal here in the NFL. I love the teams that have figured out the kickoff thing in the NFL. It's been so cool to watch. The San Francisco guy, or was it San Francisco? Yeah, I guess it was, or maybe it was from the Monday night game. But they're like, dude, the sideways, the spinny kicks, and as long as it lands in the target zone, like that's awesome.
There's one guy who tried to do that and like missed it by a yard or something like that.
It's great. Yeah. It's kind of a game inside of itself. It's like a Madden mini game. But I do think this is going to be the kind of game that there's going to be some sort of, I think there's going to be a big special teams play. Whatever that means, maybe I should be more specific, but whether it be a punt return or a kick return or a punt that gets shanked in a crucial situation, you have a couple of interesting punters, and then the wind is a factor, obviously, going into this game.
We talking oh no disaster, or are we talking good?
No, I can't say one way or the other. Okay. There will be a significant game impacting special teams play. That's what I'll say. A win probability, shifter, that type of deal. Kenneth Wright saying,
hi, Kenneth.
Do Archie's punts spin the opposite direction like their toilets do in Australia? A great question. Well, I would assume it spins whichever, way it comes off of the foot. And the thing about Archie is he kicks with both feet. He's ambipedal.
Careful.
He's ambipedal. Don't tell Taylor Swift about that word. She might use it in a song. All right. Andy Dufresne is currently escaping from the Shawshank prison.
Oh.
Which is great news for Andy. Not so great for the warden. He's about to find that out.
That warden's going to have some problems.
Yep. We'll be back with the odd news next on 1620 The Zone.
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Odson reads the peculiar, the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Odd Son. Odd news, Odd Son. See what we did there? The odd news with Oddson.
And one thing we do have around here, Josh, different kinds of salts.
We got a salt flight.
We have so many salts. Every week somebody comes in with a new salt. Would you like to try my salt? And I'll say, absolutely, sure.
Popcorn salt.
The latest one is ranch.
What do you think of that?
It's a lot.
I'll do butter salt, and that's it. On my popcorn.
I'd like the.
We've been eating popcorn today.
I like the white cheddar. I also like the nacho cheese, but then it hardened and it turned into a rock.
Oh, in the dispenser. Okay.
Yeah. So I really do like when I go to the store, I get the white cheddar popcorn. Holy crap! I just smoke that stuff. It's almost time for it. It's almost popcorn tin season, Josh.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
Get ready. I don't need the caramel. I just need the cheese.
What if we glazed your popcorn and it broke your teeth every single time?
What if we made your popcorn hard candy? No, I want popcorn. Idiot.
But every year I'm like, well, maybe
maybe
I'll have some. I'll pick at it.
When I was at going through the airport in Chicago or whatever, they have the mix, the caramel and cheese.
Holy Chicago!
I'm like, I just want the cheese. And they're like, what? You only want a bag of cheese? You don't want the mix? And I'm like, yes.
But it's a tri-tin. You get three. Well,
no, they make your own bag. They have a big pile. I don't want the third tin, like you said. I don't want the third piece of the pie. Can you make it one less piece of the pie?
Take that cardboard out.
All right. What do we got today?
We begin with how do you know when something that's gone viral online has run its course?
Great question. It's kind of a feel situation, I would say.
When corporations embrace it and try to duplicate it,
yes,
is a good
sign.
The Philadelphia Phillies, you know the Philadelphia Phillies, I'm sure. They're hosting playoff games this weekend, and they have a box at the concession stand for the 999 challenge.
The children will buy it, though.
The children will buy it. The box features.
The children will do anything to put on TikTok.
9 hot dogs, 9 beers, both of which are smaller than usual serving size, but they're not tiny.
Okay.
So I'm looking at it here. They come in. They look to be nice Phillies branded beer glasses, but they look like those wine glasses without the stem, like that size glass.
Sure.
And then it comes in a box, and there's a nice little scoreboard for you to keep track of your beers and your hot dogs and post it online, I'm sure. So,
what are we talking here, price-wise?
That is a great question. I don't see that on here in this particular story. Maybe if I click on the tweet, someone in the replies will help me.
I mean, 9 even small beers.
Oh God,
and 9 hot dogs. I mean, can I get an estimate from the crowd chat?
I'm looking at the photo of this 999 challenge box. That does not look like a Bud Light or a Coors Light. Like that looks like a
there's a Phillies special.
There's a Yingling can behind it, so it's a.
I'm gonna go 125.
First comment, by the second inning, you've got 7 cold hot dogs.
I know, that's stupid. That's stupid, but people do it.
A lot of people estimating 250.
It could be. It could be.
I don't have the exact number. That's a great follow-up question by you, though.
I would ask my computer, but my fingers don't work right now because they're covered in salt.
Sure, I understand. Mothers, is there anything they can't do?
I've been asking that as well, Josh. Great question.
A new mother is going viral after winning a video game tournament in Florida while holding her newborn
Of course.
who was born just 5 days earlier. The gamer, who goes by the handle Legion, of course, has a 0 in it instead of an O, entered a Mortal Kombat XL tournament Saturday, hosted by Juicy Game Night in Orlando, Florida. I don't know what a lot of those things I just said are. I'm just reading an article aloud to you all.
I assume it probably helps the Twitch stream if you become a mother.
Well, they might kick you out because you're a Twitch streamer who has had sex, putting you in the
wrong, Josh.
large
That actually
minority.
makes you more of a that actually makes you more popular.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you
Whoa.
if you have sexuality on your Twitch screen,
Okay.
even if it's like
Sure.
I had sex before, you could tell because I'm a mother.
Mhm.
That will make you more popular.
Uh,
But there's a whole
sure.
thing going on.
That tracks.
Yeah.
Legion defeated only three other players, including her own husband, while holding newborn Cereza in her arms. Cereza was born via C-section 5 days before the contest.
Wow. I mean, usually that's quite the recovery process, isn't it?
The victory earned the player a $28 prize.
$28?
$28? You got no.
What are we talking about?
Everyone needs to get together and go, we cannot give this woman $28. We need to go. Somebody go to the store and get like 3 packs of diapers. Something.
I had to quickly clean off my fingers because now I have to verify all of these things that you've told me. Phillies $9.99.
Platcat says it's $55. And he says that I missed it in the picture.
Yeah, it literally is Yingling Lager. I could see that now just by looking at it. So there you go. That is that. 9 beers, 9 hot dogs. Let's see. Don't get me wrong. I love the idea. The execution on the other end leaves a lot to be desired. It has to be at least $150. Someone speculates in their blog. But yeah, like you said, Platcat said. Somebody on. John Boy is saying on Facebook that it costs $99.99. Interestingly enough,
because of the 9s.
That would be a good price for it, probably. You're actually getting a pretty sweet deal there.
Nothing like a cold dog and a hot beer.
Yep.
Yeah, final story. ESPN's Ben McDonald went somewhat viral earlier this week with his disinterest in the NHL.
We played on the show.
He has been talking to a lot of people about the incident. Let's see. Who did he talk to in this particular article? Yes, I know what happened. Appearing on FS1's Wake Up Barstool. I'm going to recap it for you because you didn't watch it. No one watches it.
Yeah, how are the ratings doing on that show? It can't be good.
Bubble Guppies is beating it.
Well, yeah. I mean, Bubble Guppies took down the
Skip and
all-knowing Skip Bayless.
Yeah.
So Bubble Guppies. I mean, that's no barometer.
Ben insisted he didn't mean any harm with this comment, but he did double down on his disinterest. When that thing popped on the screen, I didn't even know ESPN had the hockey contract, to be honest with you. I know that they probably paid more than $1 or $2 for it, but I just didn't even know that, to be honest. And then when I looked at the dates and I went, well, that's kind of the same time as playoff baseball. And if I've got a choice between preseason hockey or October baseball, I'm going with playoff baseball.
Once again, Ben, we love Ben. We love when he comes around for the College World Series in the summer. He's a college baseball great, but we know your thought process on this. You should stop talking about it. Your employer's going to be angry at
I
you.
imagine.
I saw during the game yesterday, he was making hockey references. Like Freddie Fermin, the Padres catcher, RIP,
flew out to end the game.
Yeah. He blocked a pitch. He kind of scooted out and blocked a pitch. Nice block. And he did a hockey reference in there. I'm like,
that makes
all right,
sense.
Come on.
I don't know what Ben's contract looks like, but I'm going to guess that ESPN doesn't like you going on FS1 to talk about that time.
Maybe they
you
do.
Looked silly
I don't
on
know.
ESPN.
Maybe they're like, they don't care anymore because baseball is canceled on ESPN. And it's just like,
okay, I guess that's
whatever
true
at this
too.
point.
And no one watches Wake Up Barstool.
Yeah.
I don't say that to diss Barstool. I'm just saying, like,
Is that actually true though?
Yes.
What are the ratings?
the ratings are abysmal. And if you listen to Dave, and Dave's right, have you ever seen one single solitary advertisement for Wake Up Barstool? No, you haven't.
No, but I don't watch FS1
Mhm.
or Fox.
But I mean, if you liked the Barstool guys and what they do, hey, they got a morning show. You can watch it on TV. You can watch us every morning on TV.
Oh wow, this guy says this guy on Twitter says, "Oh my goodness." So
There's no number you could say that would surprise me.
this
on
is a
how
month
low
ago.
these
This was
ratings
from their first week.
Mhm.
Their first show got 20,000, which there's
Pretty low.
13,000 Wednesday, 13,000 Thursday, 20,000 Friday. Anyway, I don't
Everybody
know.
loves the Friday
Pretty
show.
bad. Pretty bad. Pretty bad.
We could beat that.
I think we have before. I think they have before. Like, you could get way more eyes streaming on the internet than 13,000.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Josh.
Thank you, Connor.
That's the odd news. Noon hour is coming up next. A history lesson and a reintroduction to our friend 1940s man. When we talk about Nebraska's all-time history with the Michigan State Spartans, formerly known as the Michigan Agricultural College Aggies. Back after this on 1620 The Zone.
He does it the only way he knows how. With his massive sports brain sprinkled with a smidgen of rabble-rousing. Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
All right, tough news for Panthers fans. Meow Mix, a Carolina Panthers podcast, has decided to put their podcast on hiatus.
Oh no.
Yes. Why?
Did they give a reason?
Yes, they did. It's because the team sucks and they cannot justify spending hours of their lives, even for releasing a weekly podcast. They can't justify spending hours away from their family on Sundays just to talk about the Panthers on a podcast. So the podcast is on indefinite hiatus. Thoughts and prayers out to the Meow Mix community.
I'm just.
What's your first thought, Josh?
My first thought is, what happened this week that you're like, no, I can't go on anymore?
Probably something that has been boiling for a while would be my guess.
Okay.
Like, hey, man, we got to stop.
I can't devote my life to this team.
Yeah, that'd probably be my guess. Also, I like the idea as a person who does a 4-hour podcast every day. I like the idea that, I don't know, I'm sure they don't make very much money off of it or any money or whatever, but like, it just became too cumbersome to talk about this team for 3 hours every week.
Probably got a cease and desist letter from Meow Mix.
Just think about talking about a bad team for 10 years.
That would be crazy if you devoted your life to a bad football team for over a decade.
Every day. Every day. Now, I get paid money to do so, which is nice. I love that. If for whatever reason I stopped getting paid money, I would not talk about them anymore.
Okay, good to know.
Yes. I am in it for the money.
Wow.
In this specific case.
What happened to the friends we made along the way?
I don't know. Ask the Meow Mix podcast. Poor guys. All right. Noon hour. You're on the Connor Happer Show. You're on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Black Cat writes in on YouTube.
Black Cat.
Unrelated news, Greg in Myrtle Beach has cornered the podcast market on the Carolina Panthers.
Oh.
Yeah, I wonder what his podcast is called. I really like the idea of Meow Mix. Pretty good. Pretty good. We can get going. I mean, there's clearly a hole in the Carolina Panthers podcast space.
Yeah, we could get it.
We can get rolling in there.
5 days ago, they posted a photo of the Carolina Panthers logo with a clown face over it and said, not sure where to go from here.
Well, cancel their podcast. Chris writes in, poll
Hi,
question, will you miss the Meow Mix podcast?
Oh, yeah, we got to do that.
John texts in, did Meow Mix have more subscribers than Barstool TV had viewers? Great question.
Probably.
It's possible. It's possible at this point. All right, here we go with the noon hour and a history lesson. Nebraska and Michigan State, or as they were formerly known, all the way up until 1964, Michigan Agricultural College. They do have some alternate helmets that have like the old, not old English, but like an older kind of script that says Mac on the side.
Really?
Yeah, they wore those a couple times.
Oh.
Nebraska leads the all-time series 9-4. They have lost twice in a row. We'll get to the most recent games after we start you at the beginning.
Oh, yeah, that's a nice helmet. I remember that.
1914 was the first time that Nebraska and Michigan State, once again known at the time as Michigan Agricultural College, met. It was at the field now known as Memorial Stadium, used to be called Nebraska Field at the time. This happened in the middle of Nebraska's 4-year-long winning streak under Jumbo Steam. They could have.
What an era.
It was. I mean, they could probably claim at least two national championships during that period of time, which they don't, for the record, because they're a real school with morals and values. And they believe that they have to actually win the national championship in order to claim the national championship, which is nice. So Nebraska won 24-0. Jumbo Steam had it rocking and he had it rolling. Let's go back. This is from the 1915 Nebraska yearbook. So this came out in spring 1915 after the school year had ended with a look back on the 1914-15 football season. And for that, we introduce you back again to 1940s man, even though this is from 1914.
Thank you, Connor. Mr. Julian, the All-American fullback, supported by a powerful company from the Michigan Agricultural College, favored us with a visit on October 24. Away back east, they had the reputation of being fearfully rough fellows, and Julian scared the Roosters half to death the evening before the game by sticking his head and shoulders over the balcony of the Lincoln Hotel so that everybody could see him. The Ags played a very nice game considering how far east they lived. What? And both Julian and Blake Miller were nearly the equal of some of Nebraska's players. Once Michigan came within 3 inches of making 6 or 7 points, but 3 inches were as good as a mile, and the score stood 24-0 for Nebraska when the timer's whistle mercifully put an end to the massacre. That's just good writing.
Any questions? I'm interested in the whole Rooster situation.
That feels like a real thing that happened, but, we're so far removed from that time period. There's no way that happened.
Back in the day, we used to have reporters, just on the scene, and they would report things like this.
Now, just go stand in front of the Lincoln Hotel. Tell me what happened.
So this is the type of crap that gets put on a message board now, and then all of a sudden there's a thread about it, and then the coach will come out afterwards and be like, "Hey, man, that's our private space," or like, "This is just not appropriate to be talking about in real life." I mean, think about this. They must have had a yearbook report. This person who wrote this, I don't know who it was.
Probably some dork on the yearbook committee.
Yeah, but I bet those people were probably cool back then.
Oh, you think that's where the cool kids were doing in their extracurriculars?
What were the cool kids doing in 1915? I don't know. I have no idea.
Those cool kids are smoking jazz cigarettes out back.
Yeah, were they? I don't know what was cool in 1915. It seemed like a very studious time.
Yes.
In college, right?
What was cool in 1915?
What was cool in 1915? I don't know. But we got to.
Babe Ruth hits his first career home run.
I love Babe Ruth.
Popular trends in 1915 included vaudeville shows, dances like the Foxtrot and Tango,
of course,
and hit songs like It's a Long Way to Tipperary.
That's cool.
Apparently.
What would they say is cool now? I don't know. It's very interesting. But I am fascinated in this idea that the Michigan State coach scared the Roosters half to death the night before the game by sticking his head and shoulders over the balcony of the Lincoln Hotel so that everyone could see him. What? I need more on this.
I need more on the Ags played a very nice game considering how far east they live.
Now, I think that's probably a travel reference, right?
110 years later, we're still talking about travel.
We are.
The brutal grind of the Big Ten travel schedule.
I mean, fortunately, Nebraska wasn't in the Big Ten during this time, and they didn't have to go all that far for their games. But they did make a couple trips. We talked about that Rutgers game where they played in New York at the Polo Grounds last year. So they made a few trips. Michigan State making this one, or Michigan Agricultural College. A lot going on. But Nebraska was able to take care of business.
Wow, what
a few inches felt like a mile. Yeah, you looking at their schedule from 14?
Yeah, only 2 road games, Manhattan and Iowa City.
Not very far, Josh. Probably took them 3.5 days to get to Iowa City.
How about a 0-0 tie against South Dakota?
Predictable. It's tough. I mean, what time of year was it?
October 10th.
Wow. Almost 111 years ago today.
111 years ago today, Nebraska defeated Washburn 14-7.
Washburn. Nice. Excellent. All right, so then these two teams didn't meet again until 1920. Nebraska took care of business in that game, 35-7. And then they met sparingly after that, all the way up until Nebraska joined the Big Ten in 2011. 95, 96, 03, and 11. 03, of course, was the Alamo Bowl. Well, I guess 11 is a Big Ten matchup. We'll go through some of those Big Ten games here in just a second. There is a little bit of a history between these two schools in terms of a connection. So Michigan Agricultural College became Michigan State in 1964. Bob Devaney started his coaching career as an assistant at Michigan State under Biggie Munn and later Duffy Daugherty, legendary Michigan State coach Duffy Daugherty, before Devaney left and got the head coach job at Wyoming in 1957, and then left for Nebraska in 1962. And in fact, according to what I was reading last night, when Nebraska was looking for a new head coach after the disastrous tenure of Bill Jennings, they attempted to hire Daugherty before he suggested Devaney, his former assistant.
Well, that worked out well for everyone.
It did. It did, especially Bob, who did not have to live in Wyoming anymore, which was good news for him. And he got a building named after him. He was the athletic director. He was the athletic director emeritus, won a couple national championships. Yeah, I'd say it did work out for Bob. And it worked out for Michigan State, too, with Duffy Daugherty. So good news for everybody. There's a connection between those two. They famously, so once again, they've been 1914, 1920, and then didn't meet again for 75 years.
Whoa.
All the way up until 1995. That gets us to 1995, a famous game for a variety of different reasons, some of which we're not talking about on this show, some of which we will. Nebraska won 50-10. Tom Osborne famously, after the game, told Nick Saban, the young head coach of the Michigan State Spartans, "You're not as bad as you think you are." And I think they went to like a bowl game that year, or won a bowl game, or something like that. Saban just told that story recently on College Game Day, but it's a famous one that it's talked about for many years with Osborne. I went back and I watched some of the 95 Nebraska-Michigan State game.
Oh, yeah.
Last night on YouTube. It was on ABC. Great intro, the whole thing. I mean, it looked so bad.
Oh, no.
There still wasn't a ticker yet, which I found to be surprising. I don't know when that came into play.
Okay.
But they flashed up scores randomly kind of throughout the game when they wanted to talk about other games, and they needed some time, obviously, in this game because it was 50-10.
MSU lost the Independence Bowl day.
There you go. Thank you, Josh. Appreciate that. So it was on ABC, and the sound of it was kind of nostalgic, but my God, I mean, the field, horrific.
Oh.
It was, the hard concrete turf.
Oh, yeah, they had turf, didn't they?
At Michigan State. It was AstroTurf.
Yeah.
I mean, it looked just painful. Painful.
Yikes.
But we were welcomed in by a voice, and then I was like, I think I know this voice. And then it came on. Then he came on camera. The play-by-play broadcaster for ABC that day was none other than Mark Jones, who did Nebraska's game against Cincinnati this year at Arrowhead Stadium. Mark Jones did that game with Todd Blackledge.
How old is Mark Jones?
Great question. I found myself wondering the exact same thing. I said, is Mark Jones actually timeless? Is Mark Jones a vampire?
Don't correct.
Gosh. What? Is Mark Jones a vampire? Is something question. That I was, we could do that. So Michigan State had some players. Derek Mason Michigan State won the toss. They elected to receive. Derek Mason, great wide receiver, long time, Baltimore Raven, fumbled the opening kick forward immediately into Nebraska's hands, and then they got held to a field goal off a short field on their first possession. Michigan State was hucking and chucking a little bit that year under Saban. He was known as a defensive mastermind at the time, but they were throwing it around a lot because their two wide receivers were like ended up being great NFL players. Derek Mason and Mushin Muhammad was their other wide receiver in that game. Nebraska obviously took care of business because that was one of the best teams of all time. But Michigan State had some dudes. And then, of course, Osborne told Saban after the game, he said, "You're not as bad as you think you are." Wow. Look at that. So there's some connections between those two programs historically. The 03 Alamo Bowl was a very forgettable game in the history of bowl games for Nebraska, but it did happen. And then they didn't meet again until 2011. Nebraska, I believe I have this right. I'll pull up Nebraska's 2011 schedule. Nebraska was kind of rolling in their first year in the Big Ten, and then had the big stumbling block of oh no, I had it backwards. Okay, so they were rolling. They obviously had the loss to Wisconsin to start the season, which was a little bit, to start the Big Ten season, which was a little bit deflating for them. That was College game day and that whole thing. But remember, the very next week, they had the win against Ohio State, greatest comeback in school history. Levante David, Rex Burkhead, all that stuff. They beat the crap out of Minnesota. And then Kirk Cousins of Michigan State came to town. I remember this game because it was a little chilly. It was an 11 a.m. game, and everybody was worried about Cousins. And they this is a pretty good team at the time. And Nebraska's defense was unbelievable that day. They won 24-3. Michigan State really never threatened to score. And then the very next week, Nebraska's rolling. I think they're back in the top 10 at this point, or at least it's close. And Kane Coulter and them boys run into town, and they take down Nebraska a week later. But they were rolling in 2011, so that's a memorable game. And then, each of these games have had their moments. The 12 game had some plays late. Obviously, that was the one where Schaefer almost got hit in the corner of the end zone. Jamal Turner, right? 2013 was a sort of not memorable game. Michigan State's rolling by this, but I think this was during Le'Veon Bell's time. 14, Nebraska has a chance late. Alonzo Moore dropped the pass in the corner of the end zone. They lose that game. 15, Michigan State's one loss in the regular season. Brandon Riley, did he go out of bounds? Yes, of course he went out of bounds, but he caught it as a touchdown. 2018, big win for Scott Frost, 9-6. We talked about it with Chris Solar yesterday. It's random flash snowstorm pops up, and I'm sitting there wondering, there's no way Nebraska could win a slobber knocker. Not the way these two teams are built. Because remember, they had won 2 games, or by that point, against Minnesota and Illinois, and it was both of the scores were 56-20 something. I was they're going to have to score in order to win games, and they won that game 9-6. Frost grabs the football, he comes off the field, he's crying. It's a great moment. 21, oh no, disaster. You kicked it the wrong direction. Jaden Reed takes it back untouched for the easiest punt return any of us have ever seen. Nebraska's trying to get bowl eligible in 2023 with Heine and control. I think a lot of that game, if I remember right, in 23, ended up losing Michigan State 20-17. That was the last time these two teams have met. In fact, they have not met in Lincoln since that 2018 game where Scott Frost was emotional coming off of the field.
He was.
He was quite emotional at the time. Chance writes in.
A chance?
Michigan State in 15 is what made me think this Mike Riley dude might be all right. Spoiler alert, he wasn't. Oh, that was it. Look, you guys can do revisionist history however you want. That night in 15, there was no hint of this isn't going to work. People will tell you that to this day. They were yeah, we even knew it, even after that win. We even knew that it was fool's gold and it wasn't going to work out. But people will tell you that. They're idiots and they're lying to you. That's not true. Nebraska had struggled obviously throughout 15, but that win meant something to a lot of people during that time. Michigan State didn't lose a game in the regular season. Of course, they got destroyed by Alabama in the playoff. They went on to beat Rutgers. They lost to Iowa with 4 turnovers after that. And remember, they started the next season 7-0. And so the thought around here wasn't oh, boy, this is all fool's gold. It was let's go. It's Mike Riley time. They won the bowl game that year. They got to a bowl game at 5-7. That was super weird. But I remember the party that night. It was quite the show. It was quite the celebration on the Nebraska sideline. That's for sure. Let me clear my throat. That was during the time in which that was happening.
Yes.
Big deal. John writes in.
Hey, John.
Mark Jones is 63. So Mark Jones would have been 30 during that game.
Okay. I don't want this to be oh, Josh looked it up because he didn't believe me. I believe you. I just need to see it for myself. Mark Jones, sportscaster, 63. He'll be 64 next month.
So he was 30. He was 33 when that game happened.
He's Canadian.
He was my age when that game. Imagine doing national championship caliber national broadcast at age 33.
What if Matt McMaster was on the call for Oregon Penn State?
No, that'd be different. That'd be different. Because Matt is 24 or whatever. Yeah.
Whoa.
Section 531.
High 531.
I gave Mark Jones a high five after a Nebraska ball win over Michigan State in 1996. Thank you, Larry.
So he does the Sacramento Kings games.
Mark Jones
does. His younger brother Paul does the Raptors games.
Ooh.
What are the odds?
Broadcasting royalty. Here's Chris.
Hi, Chris.
Whole question: were the cool kids on the yearbook staff in 1915?
Okay. Yep. Thank you. That's a good question.
we were looking for one to come out of that, but yeah, there we go. All right, that's your history lesson. Another edition of Nebraska and Michigan State coming up tomorrow. Nebraska has not won since the Frost era.
Oh, sorry. I have the 1995 game going the whole time, and
oh, really? Turn it up.
Nebraska's rolling.
Turn it up.
Turn it up.
Let's
Oh,
see.
flag. That's a horse collar.
Just turn your computer up. Let's see what Mark Jones is talking about. Let's see what's he getting into.
Oh, hold on.
Okay, never mind. I shouldn't have requested this. Actually, I knew it was going to be too difficult.
Exactly like the one we showed in the open, where the play looked like he was kind of hemmed in, was able to make one quick move at the line of scrimmage, bounce it outside for a big play.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
Thank you.
Take a look again as this play comes at us now.
Okay, that's good. Thank you, Todd Blackledge. Appreciate that. He's done some more Nebraska games since then, obviously.
Yeah.
He's also a very famous player in a very famous Nebraska game as well. Venmo Chris writes in, I missed an opportunity for free tickets to that Michigan State game in 15 over from the night before. I put my phone on silent and ended up sleeping through the entire game. Wasn't that game a night game?
Which game?
The 15 Michigan State
15.
game.
Yeah, okay.
I remember ending at night. It might have been at 2:30. But anyway. All right. Let's take a break. Our keys to the game coming up next. We'll look ahead to this one in particular.
Keys.
Stop with all the old stuff. Back after this on 1620 The Zone. Oh, man. Shawshank update. Warden came in. He's pissed. Andy Dufresne's gone. He picked up a rock and he threw it into that picture.
Oh, you got.
Oh, there's the greatest. There's the greatest still shot maybe in movie history. Right there. Josh, you're a film buff. When he's looking down the chiseled out tunnel that Andy Dufresne made with his little tiny rock and thing, isn't that one of the greatest bleep moments in movie history? One of the greatest like still shots that we've ever had?
Yeah, it's probably on the list for sure.
It has to be. I mean, this is one of the greatest movies of all time. Everybody agrees on that.
Mm-hmm.
And there
it's
you
Josh
go.
Peterson's favorite movie.
They found his chisel. Look at that thing.
There it is.
This is good. Movie's now just beginning. I hadn't seen this movie in my entire life up until probably 5-ish years ago.
I was going to say, did you watch it during COVID?
It was probably COVID, potentially even after COVID. Sam writes in on Twitter. Okay, I kid you not. I just got back in the car and you guys are talking about movies. Yeah, my bad.
Don't you think some
And
of
we
the
haven't
stuff,
talked about it since, for the record.
Don't you think some of the stuff in that movie is a little problematic, guys? I mean,
thank you, Nick. Have they done a Shawshank movie club with Nick?
Prison assaults are no jokes.
Damn. All right, awesome. That's good. Somebody suggested earlier that we should just do a combination of School of Rock and Tommy Boy each Friday and just dedicate 10 minutes to only those two movies every single week.
But alternate.
Or we just
every
alternate.
week.
Yeah, one week is Tommy Boy, the next week is.
Hey, it's episode 200 of our movie podcast. It's the 100th time we've talked about Dumb and Dumber.
I wish. I mean, I would definitely do that bit, but I know people would be triggered. So, again, after a while, it would get pretty old.
Yeah.
But,
and we'd be like, why are we doing it again?
Yeah. We did do a segment. Well, an entire show once where, what did we refuse to acknowledge that Nebraska ball did?
Win the crown.
That's right.
That
was kind of mean.
That was on a Sunday, and the next day we came in and got through 2/3 of the show, I believe, before people figured out that we were A, doing a bit, and B, got
so
angry
mad.
with us.
So mad. So I'm not against, trying stuff out,
Yeah.
Got all this time for a reason. You might as well do something with it.
20 hours a week. There's going to be some hits, some misses. You're going to try some things.
Came up empty on that one.
We tried Grunt the Slate and it worked.
Maybe. Still under evaluation, I think.
Okay.
I don't know. Flaky Jake.
Flaky Jake.
Quit spoiling Shawshank. No spoilers. All right, I apologize. We won't tell you how it ends, but he's about to climb through a significant pile of crap. But that's it. That's the only thing. It doesn't tell you about anything as it pertains to the movie. Kenneth writes in on YouTube.
Hi, Kenneth.
2/3 of the way through the show is fitting because winning the crown is equivalent to winning 2/3 of an NCAA tournament game. Is it? I think it's 0/3, to be honest with you. Anyway, Chance says that was quite an infuriating bit. Not going to lie. Once again, I'm sorry. Keys to the game. Which game? The
Alabama Vanderbilt game. Here's the keys.
The Shawshank game. He's currently waiting for the lightning and thunder to strike at the perfect time so he could blow up the poop thing. Oh, he blew it up. Right there. Nice job.
These are the keys to the game that takes place at the end of The Longest Yard, starring Adam Sandler. You got to make sure those wardens don't cheat.
Yeah. What if they made it a rule in that game to not say racist things? They got kicked out immediately or something like that. That'd be a completely different movie, wouldn't it?
What? It'd be like 8-man football.
All right, win the weakness. I'm talking about this a little bit all show. So a lot of the conversation for yours truly and others this week has been about like airing it out, bombing the ball, throwing it around, and all that stuff. And I also want to be clear here that I don't need Nebraska to ram their head up against the wall as far as the run game is concerned. But I do think you want to see Nebraska have some success on the ground against a front and some linebackers that have struggled at times, and it's certainly weaker up front than the team that Nebraska just played 2 weeks ago, aka Big Brother for Michigan. I as much as the conversation has driven sort of the week of like, hey, what have we learned about ourselves and what should Nebraska do going forward? I do think that you can't just abandon the run. If that sounds like what I've been suggesting all week, I want to make it very clear. I am not saying that. I believe Nebraska has to run the ball. I just think they have to do it better. I just think they have to do it more efficiently. And I think it will get better just by virtue and nature of the types of teams that you're going up against, game by game. And I think this one, you'll have a chance to do so. You can't let them control the line of scrimmage. Against a team like Michigan, you could say, all right, maybe we're going to give up the line of scrimmage. We're not going to win some of these battles in the line of scrimmage. We still have to be able to do some things in the middle of the field, but we can work to create some other opportunities outside of that. I think for Nebraska in this game, you look at the other team across from you and you say, well, they're not going to be able to push us around on the offensive or defensive line. So let's do what we do. And we're not going to scheme this up too much. We're not going to just start throwing it down the field 40 times a game or anything like that. You got to run the ball. So win the weakness. Win the other weakness. The other weakness. There are many other weaknesses, but this is another one. Don't let Michigan State get things going in the conventional run game. I think that Nebraska is excited to get moving up front against the conventional run. I think once Michigan State gets their play action going and Childs gets out of the pocket and he starts kind of freelancing a little bit, that's when they're comfortable. That's when they're pretty good. The wind is a factor here, like I've said before, but I that's where Childs looks comfortable to me. Don't let them win that weakness. Contrary to most years where I always have liked Michigan State's running backs, and we talked about Walker yesterday, and they've had Bell in the past, it always seems like they have a guy at that position in particular. I don't know if that's the case this year. Frazier has been okay for them, and then Tullis has been their other guy. And then, they got Elijah Tolliver from Sacramento State last year. I think so. They'll probably see those top two guys. There's no Le'Veon Bell there, right? So Nebraska has to control things conventionally up front. And whether that means being a little bit bigger and physical up front in general on defense, or if you're in situations where you're going to stunt and twist some defensive linemen, you have to ask the linebackers to fill and cover and stuff like that, then do that better as well. But win that weakness as well. And then I think third key here, we're going to call it in the back.
Hello.
In the back end. I think, like I always say, or like I just said, it seems like Michigan State has that one guy that really just stands out every single year. Bell, Jaden Reed, been that guy in the past. There's been
Kirk Cousins.
Sure. They usually get pretty good quarterback play, right? But, thinking up front on defense, like Shalik Calhoun, like stuff like they've had some guys on defense too. And they got a couple injuries that are interesting, throughout they'll be monitoring before the game as well. I think that guy on this team is probably Childs, but if it's not him, it's one of those two receivers. And Nick Marsh and Amari Kelly. Kelly has the better stats right now. But I think Marsh is the better player or the more explosive player. If I'm worried about one guy, I'm worried about Nick Marsh on Saturday. And so that would be the guy that I have a big circle around for them offensively. Obviously, you have Childs as well. And nothing happens with Marsh unless you get Childs going. And then so I think this comes down to Nebraska really earning its salt on the back end of the defense. So Sierra Wright, Andrew Marshall, I think this is a big moment for those guys. I don't know that they've seen like the type of wide receiver play yet that is, I should say the wide receiver play combined with the quarterback play yet that's been like particularly scary. But I do think this combo can get you. So Nebraska has to continue to cover like they have been all year. People ask like, okay, well, is Nebraska's defense really the number one pass defense in the country? I can't tell you that they're the best pass defense in the country. Statistically, they are at this point. But I do know they're pretty good. They cover well, and Wright and Marshall have been pretty dang good this year. And I think we'll see some changes in the defensive backfield beyond that as well. You're going to go without Hartzog. It seems like this week, Rule called him doubtful. He ain't playing. He might not play for a while.
Forever.
So whoever's out there on the back end, it'll be a challenge to keep those guys hemmed in, I think, this week. Those guys, Marsh and Kelly, are good players. But I would circle Nick Marsh. We'll see how Nebraska's able to handle this. If the wind is that significant of a factor, then I don't know. I don't know if that helps Nebraska or hurts Nebraska. I think Nebraska is going to do some things through the air. They want to, but they've been really, efficient as far as completing passes in the short passing game. Michigan State likes to do it a little bit longer. Maybe that favors Nebraska. We'll see what that whole win situation, of course, looks like tomorrow. Those are our keys to the game. Brian writes in.
Hi, Brian.
On YouTube. Marsh can go up against two defenders and come down with the ball. He's that type of dude. Yeah. Chance writes in, where my Connor Cook head's at. Connor Cook had a awful game. I'll pull up that 2015 game. Let's see. But I remember him missing a variety of different throws in that game that allowed Nebraska to stay in it. He was 23 of 37, threw for 4 touchdowns and 335 in that game. But I remember him missing important third down throws too in that game. Connor Cook, there's another pretty decent Michigan State quarterback over the years. They've always kind of had just a guy like that.
They maximize the talent.
It feels like it.
Yeah.
It feels like it. It's been a little up and down recently, and Mark D'Antonio is a really, really great coach, and so they're, they had some turmoil right after that with old Mel.
Sure.
But I'm a Jonathan Smith kind of believer. I think he's a pretty good coach, but this is a big game for them. If they want to try and get to a bowl this year, or wherever they want to go, or more than that, I think that's a team that probably thinks that it could go to more than just a bowl or just scrape bowl eligibility. It's they're viewing it as a big swing game, and I think maybe Nebraska's not viewing it as much of a big swing game as much of hey, we can't lose this game. Right? Is it a must win? People don't like saying it's a must win, but maybe it's a must win. All right, we'll come back. We can talk about that wind a little bit and the impact it might have on Saturday. Also, we'll continue to count you down to the end of the Shawshank Redemption. It looks like Red has taken a trip somewhere. I wonder what he'll find.
No spoilers.
Back after this on 1620 The Zone.
The Connor Happer Show.
Who's pitching tonight?
You Darvish, having a great year.
The Connor Happer Show.
I know about that guy.
On 1620 The Zone.
What a mess.
Here's another Energy Media radio station you may want to put in your presets. Check out Sweet 98.5, Omaha's workday favorites for hits from the 90s.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Here comes the clown.
Big games coming up this weekend in college football. It's not a ground-shifting week of the Big Ten, maybe as it was last week for the conference.
Okay.
But is there anything outside of the Nebraska game that we are watching closely this weekend? How closely will you be watching Washington and Maryland this weekend?
Something's got to give between those two.
What do you mean?
Someone's going to have to lose.
Well, yes, somebody will have to lose. I do know that. That is true.
Will Northwestern take care of business at the lacrosse field?
I think so.
Okay.
I think they'll beat UL Monroe, although I can't be sure of it.
Boy, this is
it's an interesting slate.
Yeah. Yeah, on paper, Washington, Maryland seems like the most competitive.
It's probably just the most interesting to us.
Yeah.
I think, Big Noon decided to go to Michigan, Wisconsin this week.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know that that's a Michigan route.
Game never in doubt, but maybe not.
Seems like maybe one of those things.
If you just look at the final score at the end of the game, you might go, "Oh, Michigan only won blah 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 to blah blah blah."
And then there's Maryland, who's yet again started 4-0. They've had this light kind of lead up to get to this point in their first game. They beat Wisconsin last week, but their first, big test, I guess, in conference is to get Washington, who travels across the country 7 days after they got, physically pushed around a little bit by Ohio State. I mean, that seems like a good situation for the Terps to be in. So might they come out of that game 5-0 with a nice quality win under their belt? It's possible before going into the Nebraska game. And they're probably looking ahead a little bit as well. They're thinking, can we get to 6-0 and then 7-0 before we take on Indiana? And then all of a sudden we're looking at a top 15 type of game or something like that. I bet that's probably what they're thinking. It's probably looking ahead a little bit too much for the Terps, but I know some people who will be watching that one closely this week.
Washington, Maryland is kind of one of those, what did you call Nebraska, Michigan State? Like bad on bad or flaws on flaws, or what'd you call it?
Weakness on weakness?
Yeah. Washington's defense against Maryland's offense.
You think they're both weak?
Weaker, yeah.
You said Washington's offense and Maryland's defense?
If I said that, that's not what I meant. I'm sorry. I meant the inverse of that. Maryland's offense versus Washington's defense.
Gotcha. I
Sorry.
think Washington's pretty solid. To be completely honest with you, I think they're pretty solid. It just, Ohio State is always going to be a little bit tricky for them, and so we'll see what happens with that game this week. That's in the Big Ten, so it's a little bit of a, if we're giving the Big Ten slate a grunt, it would be the Matt Rule. That's not very good this weekend. Elsewhere, people will be keeping a very close eye on Vanderbilt and Alabama. College game day is in T-Town this weekend. Diego Pavia, can he beat Alabama one more time? This is, I feel like we've said this probably 2 or 3 times over the last handful of years here. This is probably Vanderbilt's biggest game of all time in their program's history.
I've seen other ball knowers call it that for Vandy. Yes,
it's very close to that, and they feel like Alabama is vulnerable. They beat them last year. Alabama, of course, getting confidence again after beating Georgia a week ago. It's a fascinating one, I think, in that game, just in terms of the matchup.
Vanderbilt is 16th in the country.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about that game a little bit later on, but I got to be honest with you, that Alabama line seems a little heavy to me. 10.5.
10.5.
Could be a bit of an overreaction after they beat Georgia. And then there is Miami and Florida State this week. Florida State, this game doesn't have quite as much juice as it maybe had a week ago before Florida State lost to Virginia in front of everybody in the greatest field storming that any of us have ever seen from a football perspective happened. But this will be really good on Saturday night to, teams with some aspirations maybe for the playoff or whatever it might be after that. And then I think there's a sneaky game in the Big 12 that we are not going to pick this afternoon. Because I think when we go forward on the picks, we'll probably just skew a little bit more toward the Big Ten games, just because we know more about them, and I think it makes more sense. The Big Ten games anyway. So we'll miss this one this week on picks, but curious to see what happens in Texas Tech and Houston. Houston is a team that has been, quietly kind of waiting in the wings a little bit. Texas Tech has got they have some cachet to them now, right? Their reputation kind of precedes them a little bit, but these are a couple teams that are pretty interesting going into this middle portion of the season. And then the other game in the Big 12, we will pick this one. Iowa State and Cincinnati.
Oh, we will. Okay, that's where I thought you were going. Okay.
Yes. Iowa State and Cincinnati, where Cincinnati is a small favorite at this point in time. How about that?
I thought Cincinnati was bad.
Nah, everybody, I don't know. Where's the wind blowing around here on Cincinnati?
Mm-hmm.
Are they good? Are they bad? Are they, is their quarterback the best quarterback of all time?
Who's to say?
No idea. Who's to say? But there are some pretty good games in college football, of course, this weekend, and it's good to have Nebraska back on the slate. Friday night games tonight for your interest. Western Kentucky and Delaware, Charlotte, South Florida, New Mexico and San Jose State, West Virginia, BYU, and Colorado State, San Diego State. West Virginia, BYU starts at 9:30 tonight.
It's a ranked team
So
starting at 9:30.
You get back from watching your high school football game tonight, and you could still catch the kickoff of West Virginia and BYU, basically. Kind of nuts. All right. Should we spoil Shawshank? Watch the end of it here?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I think it ends at 1, so it means it ends at like 1:58 or 12:58.
Mm-hmm.
So Red, he's just getting to the tree now.
Yeah.
So
Dressed
what do we?
very nicely, very dapper.
We still got what? Yeah, we got about probably 5 minutes left. He's getting to the tree. He's going to find a note, and then he's going to go on a bus, right?
Yes, he will.
Okay. Thank you. Sam writes in a couple
Hi,
different
Sam.
times. How will we see the beautiful mountains of Provo after sunset?
Oh, yeah. I'll take plenty of pictures next week and send them to everyone.
Oh, that's right, Josh. You'll love it.
It's beautiful. I do like going there, but getting there is, boy.
Really?
Oh,
On a charter plane?
They take great care of us. It's just it's the going. It's the I gotta get up and do this. I gotta leave all my other responsibilities for a day and go do this.
Okay. Well, I
don't know if you know this about me. I like work.
Yes, I do. I did know this about you. All right, let's take a break. Steve Sipple is up on the other side. We'll give him a call. We'll see what he thinks about Nebraska, Michigan State as we continue on a Friday edition of the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Steve Sipple,
The conversation gets even more uncomfortable, okay?
Omaha. Steve Sipple on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
They took us all the way up to 1 o'clock on Shawshank. Right now is the long long zoom out on Z Wantanejo for Red when he met back up with Andy Dufresne as Andy was polishing his boat or whatever the hell he was doing. And now we're on to an episode of The Office or something like that. Is this on E?
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
Oh, Green Mile.
Green Miles on next. Cool. Steve Sipple from HuskerOnline.com joins us now on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. Sipple, hello.
You're talking about daytime TV.
Yeah, Shawshank's on.
Okay. All right.
Well, Shawshank's over now. Green Mile's on.
God dang, those are old movies now.
You don't. Do you like? You seem like a shot. You love Shawshank, right? You love
No,
Shawshank.
I don't. No, I don't. I don't. I think while you were talking, I was thinking I don't know if I saw I feel like I saw a lot of it, but not all of it.
Wow.
And that was way back. Like, when did that movie come out? I'm going to guess.
That's like okay, go ahead, guess.
1998.
Oh, okay. That's not way back. Josh, what year did Shawshank come out? 94. I was thinking 94.
Oh, good guess. Wow.
That's not way back. I mean, 94 that's not that long ago.
30 years ago. All right.
I get it. I know. But I don't know. When I hear you talk about old movies, I wouldn't think a 90s movie would be an old movie.
I'm not a movie buff. So I know, I mean, and Green Mile, I never saw it. I probably just saw it on, I saw it on, it was on the TV at some point, and I kind of got the gist of it, but I never sat down and watched it.
Yeah. Simple. Somebody wanted us to ask about Bullet. Is everything okay with Bullet?
Bullet's in great shape. I'm looking at him right now.
Okay.
Dog.
Yeah. Somebody said, please ask about Bullet. And I was, that kind of worried me a little bit. I just wanted to make sure everything was okay with Bullet.
Oh, he's had sort of a rejuvenation at age 10. It's like he's age 5. I'm always tell people it's really critical what you feed your animals, and we got him on some really good dog food, and it's just changed everything. So yeah, we're out here in the side yard. He's just meandering around, listening to us.
He's like a pup again.
Yeah, he's out. He loves coming out in the side yard. There's like a little pond that he likes. It's all good.
Excellent.
Perfect.
Fantastic. We usually don't do this, but I am interested in your Applebee's sponsorship. It's what an incredible combination of Steve Sipple or Husker Online and Applebee's.
Yeah, it's Husker Online and Applebee's.
It's perfect for you, Mr. Applebee's.
It is. I'm not going to deny that. I have an affinity for that place. It's very real and it's genuine. I do like chains, like I like Blue Bloods. You get to be Applebee's for a reason, because you know what you're not. You're not just a fly-by-night organization that comes and goes. It's sustained the test of time, like the great Blue Blood sports teams.
You're right.
The Yankees are the Yankees because there's been a consistent excellence. So when someone swoops in, like the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, and takes them out, I'm like, oh, great.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Yeah. Okay. How do you feel about everybody's recent infatuation with the Indiana Hoosiers football team?
Oh God. Yeah. I mean, I respect it. I respect what they're doing, but if they're lined up against Ohio State, I want Ohio State to bludgeon them for the reason I said.
Me too.
Ohio State's a program that stood the test of time. Never been bad. Ohio State's a rare program that's never been really bad in my lifetime. And yeah, I love those. I cheer for those programs. I love them.
Yep, I'm with you.
So I hope Alabama smokes Vandy. Just smokes them. I mean, they won't, by the way. That won't happen, but I hope they do.
Yeah, Alabama, Alabama's going into probably a different time. They might not be the program that they have been, but I generally agree with you. I'm not, everybody loves to get on board with the cool and fun stories like Vanderbilt and Indiana football being good, but I am not with them. I'm against them in that category.
Yeah, and then, listen, I respect them. I respect what they're doing. I do. It's hard. You got to start somewhere, and it's hard to do. It's hard to do what they're doing at those places. And I do. I 100% respect it. But if you're asking me to choose one or the other, I always go Blue Blood. Then going back to Applebee's, Applebee's has been good since I can remember. It's just always been, it's always
steady as she goes.
Yeah, it's reliable. You know what you're getting. There's a certain way of doing things in there that you expect, and that's how it is.
Yep. All right, let's get to football. Coming up this week, Nebraska and Michigan State. Do you? I am most curious. I think I'm talking about this now for 2 weeks, coming off the Michigan game, in sort of how the coaching staff feels about what they thought was real about themselves through the first 4 weeks of the season, what happened as a result of Michigan itself as an opponent, and what the adjustments will be based off of that going into this game, which presents a different kind of challenge. You know what I'm talking about? Like, what do you think Nebraska's learned about itself over the last couple of weeks here?
Well, I think if you just look at the Michigan game, it's just an offensive line discussion mainly, in terms of what cropped up against Michigan that we didn't necessarily expect. And I think they would say that the offensive tackle situation. I think pressure got turned up pretty quick externally and maybe even a little internally on Donovan Raiola. You can't have what happened. That can't happen. But they think they're pretty good over there at Nebraska. And I'm just parodying now what Matt Rule has said. Well, they gave up. Michigan was living in the backfield, Nebraska's offensive backfield. But the stats are stats. I think Dylan dropped back 49 times, and they were 24 pressures, so about 50% of the time. It's miraculous. So maybe not miraculous. That's way too much. Giving up 7 sacks is way too much. So I think that would be numero uno. On the defensive side, what you saw was not a surprise to anybody, probably, including anybody over there. I know that in August there were instances of linemen getting moved out of the way and big runs happening. That was happening in August in their own scrimmages. So I don't think that was probably a surprise. I just think it's mainly Connor. I just think mainly it's an offensive line discussion.
Yeah, and I think they thought or think highly still of the offensive line, or maybe is that confidence being shaken after what they saw against Michigan?
I doubt. I still believe it's a good offensive line. I don't know how they would characterize. I would imagine they do. It's these conversations are sort of awkward because of the schedule.
Yep.
The offensive line did look pretty good against Cincinnati. Pretty good. I don't want to go overboard. That was a good win. They scored 20, and it wasn't like they were shoving Cincinnati around the field. Dylan was pretty clean, but some of that was just because he had to get rid of it fast, the way Cincinnati was playing. So and then you can't even really use the Akron Houston Christian games as any kind of barometer for anything. So limited, we have a limited sample size, and there Michigan was, there they were, and we were sitting up there in the press box in the first series going, whoa, what is going on at tackle? Why are the tackles getting beat so bad? In the second series, it was happening, and then you just figured, okay, this is going to be a deal all day, and it was a deal most of the day.
What do you expect to look different, or the determination to be at tackle coming up tomorrow?
100%. It's like, this, Connor. It's the worst kept secret right now in our market. I think Pritchett will be the starter at left tackle. maybe right tackle, maybe. But I think he'll be left. He'll be in the lineup. I'll be, you know, come at me next Friday if he's not. But I expect fully that Pritchett will be the left tackle. So that will be a change. Now, what's that mean at right tackle? I don't know. I think that, I mean, that's a pretty massive change. I don't know what to say about running back. I think the discerning eye could see some wrinkles up front on defense. Maybe you don't even have to be particularly discerning. I don't know exactly. I just think you're going to see that.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So again, line discussion. I don't think you don't have to mess with the receivers or the tight ends. But I just can't answer the running back. I can't answer the running back question, except to say I don't think there's that many. I think it's Mekhi Nelson, and I don't know. In my mind, it's clear. My mind, I don't think like everybody, but in my mind, and based on everything I know, going back to the spring, it'll be Mekhi Nelson getting carries as the number 2 back.
I sort of interpreted his response to he was asked a question about the second running back, and that's where this is sort of coming from. But like, I sort of thought his answer was like, you're going to see something different there. That meant about the run game and some things they're going to do. Holgorsen echoed those thoughts on Tuesday when he spoke, and I sort of interpreted that to mean like they're going to do some things to help that piece of it, like schematically. I don't know how much, like how many more bodies you could throw at it at this point, given that we've sort of seen all the options.
Yeah. I've had people wonder, text, whatever, reach out, maybe like they move somebody there, a Heinrich Harburg or a Carter Nelson. I don't see it. I don't see that. Now, again, I don't know. I don't want to present this like I'm standing over on the practice field daily. I don't know, but I don't think that would be the case. I think I would know that. I think it's maybe schematic, and I didn't read as much into that Dana comment as a lot of people did. Let's see though. Let's see what it looks like. I'm not big on rash changes. Like,
yep.
Like if you're making rash changes in week 4, like what have you been doing the rest of the calendar year? I mean, like, don't you determine these things sort of as the year progresses up to the season, and all of a sudden, let's just move Heinrich to running back. That kind of stuff is odd to me. It happens, but it's odd.
I was interested in the comment of like, I think Holgorsen said something along the lines of like, we went back and showed him on tape, like they kind of showed us how it was done. And I think there is something to that. The idea that like when you get punched in the mouth, really from a physical standpoint for the first time, you realize that you're not, you could be playing better, even for what you are. Like, I do think that there is something to that without even getting to the personnel part.
I do too. I absolutely do. I don't regard that as a negative comp. Like I saw some people getting after Holgorsen, like, oh, really? We need Michigan to show us how it's done. Well, they're 2 years removed from a national title. They do have guys that have seen teams operate. They have guys that were on those teams. So, yeah. And again, I kind of go back to the schedule. Cincinnati game seems like a long time ago. Cincinnati looks pretty good. Not Michigan, though. They're not Michigan.
Right.
So, yeah, it's just beautiful. It's a beautiful thing for us to have. Football to me, it's almost miraculously beautiful. The way it creates conversation, because there's so many layers to teams and seasons, and it's kind of complex. So it leads to very good discussions.
Nebraska's a 10 or 11.5 point favorite. Are you in win by that much mode to sort of, to have it prove that Nebraska can do that? Or is it still like, I'm not there yet. I have to see that before we expect that.
No, I'm in the mode of until they get better up front, then I just think, I don't want to say I'm nervous, but I don't have any great expectations of blowing out any Big Ten teams. I think that until it gets better up front at Nebraska, mainly on the D line, but a little bit on the O line at this point now after that Michigan game, I think I'm in the close game camp, and that's where I am. I think most of these games, like Saturdays, are going to be close. And I think Maryland will be close. And I think Minnesota will be close. And it's almost a toss-up at Maryland. That's the result of the Washington game. That'll affect the conversation. So, but until it looks better up front, I just think you're going to be in a battle every Saturday.
Yep. Steve Sipple from HuskerOnline.com. All right, Sip. Enjoy the rest of your Friday, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thank you, Connor. Take care.
Steve Sipple from HuskerOnline.com, brought to you by Applebee's.
Eating good in the neighborhood.
Is 2 for $20 still a thing, or is that gone?
What is the promo at Applebee's?
You would have to think that would be canceled out by inflation by now, right?
Definitely.
Like, $5 footlongs used to be a thing. It now costs $12.90.
They're running a trio of apps for $15.
Trio of apps for $15. Okay. All right. You could live with that.
Yeah.
Mozzarella sticks.
Oh, I'm sure that's in there.
Yesterday at Arby's, mozzarella sticks, the potato cakes. They rock.
Hell yeah.
And a good roast beef sandwich.
We'll snack on the way
I
home.
felt horrible afterwards.
Yep.
But I liked it at the time. It was delicious.
Brian says 2 for $25.
Okay. The inflation hasn't hit them quite as bad as it did Subway.
Oh, yeah.
Subway went up about 350%. All right. From the text line, where'd it go? Here it is. Chris in Montana, quote, "Football is miraculously beautiful."
He used some excellent descriptors.
It's almost miraculously beautiful in a way. He's right. There is a lot of stuff to talk about as it pertains to football. And we will talk about the football games. Coming up tomorrow, we'll have picks for the weekend, a pick on the Nebraska game, and Josh's hype speech when we return on the Connor Happer Show right here on 1620 The Zone. All right. Text from Venmo Chris.
Hi, Venmo Chris.
Along with hype speeches, Josh should make some comfort speeches for when Nebraska inevitably blows its fingers off with a firework.
Whoa.
A little pick-me-up. Hey,
JPP ain't on this team.
The blowing your fingers off with a firework era might be over. Okay?
Careful, Connor.
I said might be. I didn't make any declarations. I said it might be.
No.
You don't think it's over? Well, you better make those hype speeches.
Eliminating the possibility.
You better make those hype speeches to put in the hopper then, because people are going to need them.
It's not a bad idea. A Monday comfort speech.
Also, I like this idea as a potential new bit. P&B from Lane.
Elaine.
He threw out a score. He said somebody said 34-24. ... I could see that. I like the idea of you guys all sending in your scores and then us both saying,
I could see that.
I could see that. I could see a world where that happens.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go to our picks for the weekend. Josh, would you like to know how you did last week?
Yeah. I haven't looked.
It's bad. It's bad.
It's bad.
2 and 4. Would you like to know how I did last week?
Yeah, sure.
It's worse. 1 and 5.
Picked up a game.
Way
That's
to
all
go,
that matters.
Josh. Nice job. Josh proudly proclaimed last week, I think I have a 6-0 week that is on tap here. I think
that's right.
Yeah, it's time for you to agree with me on everything because this is perfect. Wrong, idiot.
My FanDuel Sportsbook account disagrees.
Well, Josh, unfortunately, we pick the games that matter to other people, not the ones that just matter to you. I know other shows do it differently. We pick the big ones.
Sure.
So that brings us now both to a sub 500 record. Josh has fallen to 11 and 19.
It's early.
It is, but you're going to need some big ones here. And I have fallen to 14 and 16. A 3-game lead over Josh. The only game that we both got right last week was Ole Miss. You had Oregon. I had Penn State. That was your one win over me. So
imagine not taking Oregon.
Yeah, it's a regret in hindsight. James Franklin got a piece of me on Monday. We begin. Let's start. Let's go chronological order here.
Ooh, okay.
Let's start with, as we usually start. Big Dude Fox. It's time for our first trip to Ann Arbor, Michigan, Wisconsin, against the East Side Undertaker and the Michigan Wolverines, who are a 17.5-point favorite. Big Noon Fox tomorrow. Gus Johnson, Joel Klatt, and the All-American girl, Jenny Taft. Josh, you won last week. You get first choice.
Whoa, okay. Now I know what everyone's saying in their car right now. It's a lot of points. Michigan at home, Wisconsin, bad. Give me Michigan here.
Josh, a lot of points indeed. Give me the Badgers to cover the 17.5.
Wow. We disagree right off the bat.
Go Bucky. Go Bucky.
No.
Why? Why not? One time when I went to the Wisconsin game in 2011 and all the people were mean and they had stuff thrown at them, Nebraska had to wear black to differentiate the difference. Those were weird times. Russell Wilson was still going ham at Wisconsin. But I was walking down the street and there was a kid who came up and he was like, would you like a hot dog? And I said, absolutely. I would love a hot dog in Madison, Wisconsin. And he said, okay, you have to say go Bucky. What do you think I did in that situation?
I'll bet you said go Bucky.
I said go Bucky. I want a hot dog. And I had a hot dog.
You and a prize.
It was delicious. Go Bucky indeed. Let's go to Nippert Stadium in Cincinnati, Ohio. Welcome to the Big East. No, we're not talking about Xavier. No, we're not talking about Prasco Park. It's the Cincinnati Bearcats who get a visit from number 14 Iowa State. Cincinnati is a 1.5-point favorite, 11 a.m. on ESPN2. Well, many people around here riding the Cincinnati train. The Cincinnati is good train. Not I. Give me Iowa State. to cover the 1.5 on the road and likely win the game.
Give-
Tough, physical Iowa State football.
I know Clone's got a lot of injuries, a lot of guys out, but they're going to ride Rocco Becht as a Haynes King light of sorts. Give me the Clones to win outright.
Clones. 2:30. Let's go to the BTN first. 2:30 on the BTN. Washington makes a cross-country trip. They're a 6.5-point favorite at Maryland. 2:30 on BTN.
Calendar's flipped to October.
Time for pumpkin.
Which means bad things for the Terps.
It does. 6.5 is a little sizable for this cross-country road trip, though.
I think Maryland covers, but Washington wins the football game.
Okay. So you're taking Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
Give me Washington. There are some things that are going against them. Obviously, I don't like that they just played Ohio State, and I don't like that they have to go across the country. But I do think that they are a touchdown better than Maryland. I still like Washington.
I do too.
I still like Washington. Yeah. Give me them by a touchdown. Also at 2:30 on ABC, number 16 Vanderbilt is a 10.5-point underdog at number 10 Alabama. Who could it be? Diego Pavia doing it again to him. This time in Tuscaloosa. I'm gonna 10.5 is a pretty large number for these two teams, and I think Vanderbilt is pretty real for where they're like a top 25 team in college football.
Sure.
But I just think there's quite the separator there from a talent perspective. So give me the Tide. Roll Tide, roll. 10.5.
Ever heard of an emotional letdown, Connor?
Yeah.
Bama just beat Georgia. They're exhausted. Vandy, this is the biggest game in their school's history.
It is emotional letdown territory, Josh, I'd say.
Vandy covers, Bama wins.
Okay. All right. And Bigley says Alabama 56-9.
That makes a lot of sense.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that. Number 3, Miami is a 4.5-point favorite at number 18, Florida State, 6:30 ABC.
Oh, this is me, right?
It is.
Miami wins and covers by a singular touchdown.
Yeah, I kind of like Florida State here.
Wow, we are really disagreeing. Who says we agree all the time?
I don't love this. But I feel like getting 4.5 at home, that feels like they'll bring it.
Home dog, yeah.
Castellanos is, kind of like he's like Damon Williams at Alabama. At Washington. He's kind of just, he runs around and he's sort of a wild card. Am I crazy to take the Noles here?
I don't think so. I think whoever wins this game, I'm gonna be mildly obsessed with. I think they could win the ACC and maybe do some whoever wins this game.
I mean, they probably will win the ACC.
And they could really do some damage in the playoff, maybe.
Yeah. Okay. So we're on opposite sides of that, and we finish in Lincoln, where Nebraska is 11.5-point favorite at home against Michigan State. 3:00 on FS1, as called by Timmy B, making his return to Lincoln. Tim Brando and Devin Gardner, former Michigan quarterback, wearer of number 98, Devin Gardner.
That's right.
Let's hit the hype speech.
Identity. You gotta blaze your own trail in this world. You have to find what makes you, you. What makes you tick. Let your freak flag fly. You gotta stunt on these hoes. And I'll teach you how to stunt. Don't worry. Lesson 1. Don't listen to the outside noise. Always gonna be people saying you'll never win another game again. Well, the bandwagon's closed. No vacancy. You can get on board or get left behind. Lesson 2. To thine own self be true. Play to your strengths. If you gotta chuck the rock up 35 times, then you better do it. Don't placate to the blue hairs who say, you gotta run the ball in the Big Ten. Lesson 3. Give them nothing, but take from them everything. You see, we got a special one coming to us tomorrow. An old friend that we ain't seen in a hot minute. Ready your breakfast and eat hearty, 'cause tomorrow we dine in hell.
I've heard that.
You gotta shut the haters up. And the only way to do that is to lay a smack down on these green goblins worse than when Nick Saban was at the helm. Fans out here saying all hope is lost. Are we really listening to the same losers who have never overcome any adversity in their life? The same dorks who, when you win tomorrow, will say, do it against USC. The same fans living in their mama's basement. The same fans whose pants get a little bit tighter when a new scoop from Sean Callahan leaks that they copy and paste onto their 12 burner accounts and think they matter. Win coming, and I'm telling you, you need to play with fluidity.
Okay, right.
Now is not the time to be diplomatic, for we have our reputation to consider. Oh, I've chosen my words carefully this week. Perhaps you should have done the same when you were talking that smack. I keep receipts. We'll fight in the shade. Call it blasphemy. Call it madness. The fair weather fans say hi to the messenger when we throw your ass in the pit. Nebraska 34, Michigan State 20. Sparty's gonna have to fall on the sword. Say it with me if you know the words. This is Sparta!
Nice.
A lot of that is a direct quote from the movie 300.
I recognized a couple of those lines. I know about that a little bit. Stunt on these hoes.
I said it.
Interesting.
Kind of a gamble. OPS is out of school today. I apologize to the kids. Might be in the car with you.
Kind of fascinating. That's pretty good. I like how the hype speech was against the fans.
The fans. Well,
it's not Nebraska, Michigan State. It's Nebraska versus YouTubers.
You know, sometimes you're playing against yourself more than the opponent.
Hey, you go with whatever storyline's out there for
That's right.
you.
I've had to listen to these people the last 2 weeks.
It's been a long 2 weeks.
It has.
It has been.
We need a game.
Yeah, I'm going. I absolutely loved the over. Like, first thing I saw this week, I'm like, oh my God, I love the over. Love it. I'm in love with the over. And then big wind makes their way in. And I'm like, oh, gosh. But I am choosing to almost ignore big wind.
Oh,
that's probably not smart. The wind is going to have an effect on this game, but I'm in the same area as you, Josh. Give me 37-21.
Okay.
Nebraska.
It's always so comforting when someone picks a score that's close to yours and you're like, okay.
But here's the thing about
we're all going to be
picks.
wrong.
Everybody picks the same score.
Sure.
Everybody's like, oh, well, you know, whatever the total is minus that 10.5. Okay, got it. Chance says Josh Bo Pelini Odson. Us against the world.
Us against the YouTubers.
Black Kid says I could see it. Also, shout out to Sean Callahan. Also, shout out to Goblins.
Yes.
The Green Goblins.
The Green Goblins.
All right. Way to go, Josh.
Thank
You've
you.
done it again. We look forward to the one for Maryland next week. Will there be drops from Sack Lodge?
I can almost guarantee at one point I will shout crab cakes and football.
Lodge family breeding.
Lodge.
Back with the polls. We'll tell you what to watch next on 1620 The Zone. All right, to the polls at Happer Show on the J-Tech Construction Zone Twitter feed. Let's see what we got cooking from today. Is Monster Energy a P magnet? I don't know if I would phrase it that way, but
Right.
yeah, I mean,
I knew what he meant, but I don't think
I'll
that-
vote yes. I mean, I think I'm going to go with what he meant.
Yeah. Okay.
89% say yes.
Wow.
They're going with it as well. I don't really know the true answer to that question because I don't drink Monster Energy drinks. I don't drink White Monsters like the children do these days.
Children love White Monsters.
Also, are we ever going to find out how Gary's phone got out there?
Look, I didn't want to say it at the time.
I think it was Gary.
I think Sam was onto something.
That he was framing him.
Yeah.
And he was I don't think it was that deep. I
don't-
do think
maybe not
eventually
purposefully,
by the time he
but,
found it, he was like, "Oh yeah, I got to frame him."
I gotta spin this.
Mhm. Is Connor the Eddie George of Omaha Central? No. Please vote no.
Yeah, I think he is.
Please vote no on this poll question. 51% say no, which is frankly amazing because that
vote-
means 49% say yes.
Your vote's important.
Yikes. Will you miss the Meow Mix podcast?
I just learned it existed today, so yes, I will.
61% say yes. Is Mark Jones a vampire?
Clearly.
Yes. 79% say yes. And were the cool kids on the yearbook staff in 1915?
I think it's possible. Yes, I do.
58% say yes. Those are the poll questions. Josh, what are we watching tonight?
We have baseball on our TVs this weekend.
Tomorrow.
The divisional series starts. 4-game ones. Cubs Brewers at 1 o'clock on TBS. Yankees Blue Jays 3 o'clock on Big Fox. Dodgers Phillies 5:30 tomorrow on TBS. And then Tigers Mariners 7:30 tomorrow on FS1. Those American League Series game 2s will be on FS1 Sunday at 3 and 7 respectively.
No room for the baseball on Fox on Sunday.
No, they got other things like football, and I will tell you about that. Broncos Eagles noon Sunday on CBS. Cowboys Jets at noon on Big Fox.
Awesome.
Lions Bengals 3 o'clock on Fox. And then Patriots Bills 7 o'clock Sunday Night Football on NBC. Bills wearing those icy white NFL rivalry uniforms that they will debut. They look very clean. College football tonight, Charlotte, South Florida, 6:30 on ESPN.
All right.
New Mexico, San Jose State, 7:30 FS1. West Virginia, BYU, 9:30 on ESPN. Game day in Tuscaloosa tomorrow for Vandy, Bama. Your guest picker is Theo Vaughn.
Theo?
Because he wants to bang Diego Pavia's mom or something like that.
What?
Yeah, and Diego Pavia was like, yeah, if we win this game, I'll let you date my mom or something like that.
What?
I don't have all the details, admittedly.
Whoa.
Big noon in Ann Arbor. Volleyball on your TV tonight, 7 o'clock. Big Fox, number 1 Nebraska at the defending champs, number 16. Penn State.
Nebraska's sweeping.
Ooh, nice. I like a bold prediction.
Anti-honk.
Number 1 Nebraska at Rutgers, 6 p.m. Saturday on BTN. Plus, let's see, Creighton volleyball in
Holy Chicago!
this weekend to take on DePaul. It is on Marquee Sports Network, and I can't imagine any of you have that. Yeah. WNBA Finals, best of 7, game 1 tonight, 7 o'clock. Phoenix Mercury looking to win their first title since 2014 against the Las Vegas Aces. Game 2 Sunday at 2 o'clock on ABC. And finally, on Netflix this weekend, all of your wives, all of your girlfriends will be like, oh my gosh, that Ed Gein guy is so hot. That's right, the inspiration for Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Hannibal Lecter, the inspiration for Norman Bates in Psycho, because he's played by Charlie Hunnam. He plays the infamous murderer and grave robber who inspired many of Hollywood's most iconic on-screen killers. And Netflix has
They made another sexy serial killer?
Yes, they did.
Nice.
That's what Netflix does.
Way to go.
And your wives, your girlfriends are going to go, he can make a belt out of my nipples. I don't care.
Dear God.
That's what Ed Gein
The
did.
kids are out of school today.
That's what he did.
That is it for us today. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Connor.
So we're watching. Enjoy your weekends, everyone. If you miss anything, 1620thezone.com is where you can find it. The crossover is next.